So hopefully you can hear me. Let me know. Welcome, welcome. I know it takes a little while to get on people's feed. I'm also late. And I could also not be showing this to anyone. So let's look. Okay, so privacy, public. Yeah. There was a way last time where I had made it so you couldn't, for some reason, like you couldn't only chat. I wonder. Live chat, live subs. Okay. Okay. I think. I believe that you can chat. So, okay. Hello, everybody. I came in with kind of a topic just to while people come in, and I want to chat with you guys. Really, I'm just here to socialize. Some social time for this week. Um, so, but I was, thinking about YouTube and the community and how I wanted to use it, and I I definitely want to really lean into community so that I can talk to people. Like, that's kind of why I'm doing this, is to communicate with people, to have open conversations, and open conversations about things I want to talk about. Because I mean, you can go in public and you can have friends and you can talk to people, and it's, generally speaking, you have to also talk about other things that they want to talk about. So this is just self-indulgent topics in a way, but also, hopefully people will start enjoying these. I don't even know what they're called, these adventures that we go on. I do know that all my stuff is different, so people did come on probably thinking I was maybe going to only talk about one thing. A lot of channels do niches. They do like little areas of what they focus on. I don't tend to want to do that, because what if in 5 years I don't want to do the same thing, then I have to restart my community. You see it with Etsy stores, you see it with YouTube channels. You have to start a new channel to do a different type of thing. Your current audience won't like it, so I do want to try to cultivate people who do like just to kind of talk about a lot of things, and analyze and debate. And really, I definitely look into things, and I go detailed, and I miss stuff, not because I think I'm doing the whole picture when I'm going. It's just, this is the rabbit trail I go down. So I was also thinking about, because of that, like, if you subscribe to any channel on YouTube, I've been learning this, you basically won't guarantee to see their stuff. So how I use YouTube is I only use a subscriber feed, and that's it. So I subscribe to you, and if I go on YouTube, I want to watch something, I go to the subscriber feed. I do not use the home feed. I only use the subscriber feed. And then I go into, and I don't even use the search feature because it's useless. You can't find anything you would want to find on the search feature. So what I end up doing is that I go and I search, or I go to my sub, I find a video, I try to go in order, and I try to keep up, and I try to keep it the people that I'm going to watch, because I know as I'm scrolling through my sub feed, my subscription feed, I'm ruining people's CTR if I don't click on their videos, and I don't want to do that. And so I definitely try to make sure that I click on everything, even chronologically, even if that's not necessarily like, the top thing, but I try to, if it's in the video, if it's in my frame, I've affected their CTR, and so I look at all the videos in the frame, and I try to watch all of them. So, I'm a little pickier about who I sub to, but then once I watch, I've helped their CTR, and I haven't at least heard it, as well as if I start to watch it, I only will start to watch something, or I only will even go on YouTube if I'm able to watch an entire video, because I heard their average, it's called AVD in YouTube, but I heard their average view duration. I do longer videos, so my average view duration is very short. Most people like very short things, and YouTube, since it doesn't know who to send my videos to yet, especially I'm newer, I don't have a lot of videos, and I do a lot of different topics, so it's confused. it tries to give me to people who only want like shorts, and no, they're not gonna like this. This is a very, I don't even think you like this. You just maybe enjoy the conversation. Maybe we're getting to know each other. I'm not sure, but it's not going to be a shorts viewer. I'm working on getting better at speaking, but I definitely do not speak concisely. I'm not a 60-second clip person. Not even because I just can't do it. And no one who likes that, or who likes entertainment, flashy stuff, yes, I use my hands a lot. But other than that, I don't do a lot of get your attention stuff. It's really just thinking, and it's not even straightforward thinking. It's very like meandering, like thinking. So it really, you have to try to keep up, not because you need to be intelligent. You just have to pay attention. And so my type of videos and the type of things that I watch tend to be that type of thing. So I will not watch it if I can't watch it. Pretty much, I actually watch all the way through, pretty much every time, but that's my producer brain, because I want to help people, and I know that so many people are getting 60 seconds max, 10 seconds, and click out, click in, click out, click in, click out. They're not actually getting these, like, I would rather have 5 views that watch the entire thing, that, I do 20-30 minutes, that I actually talk the whole thing, not because I'm super interesting, but it's useful for me. But, I feel like everything I keep in there, I try to create a point. And so from beginning to end, I try to make a decent, valid point, a decent video. And the points I make at the end are just as important to me as the points I make at the beginning. So for me, I hope, and I make a video for you to watch it all the way through, not for you to watch just the beginning. If you watch just the beginning, you will likely miss a lot of things that I get a lot of comments where people will comment on stuff that I can tell they didn't finish the video because I hadn't gotten in my brain to that detail, that I could be like, oh, well, that's an inconsistency. Let me focus on this, which is how my brain works. So that is something I did want to throw out there. If you like, not just me, like, I don't care what you do with me necessarily, but if you like a content creator, definitely, if you're gonna watch a video and you want to support them, if you want to ruin them, just click on their videos and don't watch very much. That will hurt them, and the algorithm will not spread them. If you want to hurt them, subscribe and then see every video, and do not click on them. These are the ways to hurt people. But to help them, actually, if you're going to watch or click on a video, watch the whole thing. Even if you can't finish it, just leave it on, let it run all the way through. Just watch videos. Again, not specifically me. This is for just how the algorithm works. So if you want to help people, that is the way to do it. If you really don't enjoy the video, that's also a key. Okay, so this isn't just, support a creator and every video that they do. If they do a video you don't like, you can thumbs down it. The algorithm won't care if you thumbs down it. It'll be like, oh, this person's engaging. It won't really care if you negative comment on it. But if you only watch a minute and you're like, this is not for me, I don't like this video, I like this creator but not this video, sure, you can thumbs down it. The creator might see a thumbs down. We don't really pay attention to the likes or thumbs downs as much, but the creator may or may not see it. YouTube won't care. That's you engaging with it. But if you want the creator to see that it's not working, that it's the audience that they're hoping likes it, doesn't like it, then click out early. So these are ways that you can actually queue. So I'm not saying only don't lie. Not all my videos are bangers. They're not all good. And I know them, and I'm like, this is not the best video I've done. And most of them aren't. And a lot of them I do a video, and I'm like, that was I felt really confident about it. It doesn't perform well usually. If I like the video, it doesn't do well. Other people don't seem to like it. But also, there's always a technical problem. I feel like there's always a technical problem. Like right now, my technical problem is mainly that I don't have good audio. I have someone commenting. Hi. I didn't see you there. Hello. Other crowd investigators 130. Hi. How are you? I am now looking at my chat now that I've seen someone exists in here, and I'm not just talking to a void. Okay, so that was kind of what I came on to just. That was my thoughts as I'm watching. Again, for discovery, a lot of people use stuff as discovery. They use home. Home is not a good discovery feature if you don't want to get what low IQ people are watching, because you're getting the average. You're getting the most like the lowest attention span, the most common connector of everyone. Like, this is what the most people are watching. You know, you're not going to be getting high intellectual stuff. It's just that's how it works. The larger group you're getting, the worse you're going to get. And the algorithm doesn't care about you anymore. It only cares about what everyone else is doing, and then it wants to give it to you because it's like, oh, this is doing well, and then that's the only thing you see, and so you click on it, and then it thinks it's doing well, and then the other creators are seeing other things doing well that are doing that, so then they follow the same formula, so then YouTube plays that, and that's all that there is, so then the other people are watching, so it changes, so it turns into this loophole, this snowball of just bad, or this, not even the bad, but the same content, because trends aren't created because the creator follows the same thing that everyone does. And the problem with the algorithm is it's only catered to what's already popular. It won't help discovery anymore. So I'm sure that they're working on it. But right now, it's home feed is useless unless you just want junk. Okay, so you may find good random things in there, but this is what I do, and you can tell me what you do. I have the sub feed, and so I have through my subs, I do some memberships I will subscribe to, or join a few memberships if I really want to support that creator specifically. I do that, you know, I'm very sporadic with that, but I want to also make sure that I receive the notifications, and you won't receive any notification, guaranteed. The closest will be a membership. If you have a subscription, even if you have the full notification on, you won't receive it. Unless you look at the bell at the top, and who does that and how they have it done. You can't even like click if it shows you're a creator you like, and say, you know, the Rubin Report. You watch that, or they post a whole lot, and I don't want to watch everyone because they post a lot of little mini clip versions. I have like something in my eye if you're wondering. It's like a hair. So, you know, I will see, 4 videos that were posted, and it'll show you the videos, but you can't actually click on the video. I'm like, it's not a good interface. So now I have to go and figure out where the video is, which is why I have my sub feed pretty curated. But then once I find a video like that, that's what I'm in the mood for in my sub, right? So I am watching it. My discovery, which I do allow discovery, happens with the recommended video. So it's still, especially recently, giving a lot of slop, giving a lot of just what everyone else is watching, which is never what I want to watch. But it will be closer to some topic that may be similar to what I'm actually watching, or the creator that I'm watching, things like that. So that's how I do discovery. So let me know how you do discovery. I don't know how interesting this is to people. To me, this is like a very interesting topic, but I guess it's because it's what I do in work, not specifically YouTube discovery, but discovery concepts. I follow technology in person. In life, in different areas, I have to produce stuff, and so I have to kind of be aware of what's happening. But like I said with the trends, I try not to just follow a trend, even with clients who are creating stuff. I will tell them this is the formula that everyone's using, and I will tell them why they probably shouldn't use that formula and probably shouldn't follow a lot of the tips out there. Because another fun algorithm tip is not because shorts, people say, oh, shorts help your channel get discovered, but I don't do shorts because I'm not good at them. You can look, I moved any shorts that I ever did way in the beginning of November of 2025. I moved those to membership because they're not my style. But I tried, you know, because I was trying to do some social for my sisters, and like people did social. I didn't enjoy it, which is why I then moved doing long form on YouTube only, and I stopped just trying any shorts. But if you get an audience from a shorts, unless it's, say, behavioral panel, they tend to do really good job at this because of the type of thing they show body language analysis, and so they'll show a short, and then they'll have the actual long version of that. You want to watch the whole trial and watch, you know, Amber Heard versus Johnny Depp, and see like all the ways that she's lying, and like it's just awesome to watch. Yeah, you can watch a short and then so I get that discovery concept. Those are few and far between in even the type of person that's going to end up clicking on that short. So what you end up getting is a bunch of people who like shorts. And that's great if you just want to churn out shorts and that's like what you do and you can do it. But shorts, you're going to have to do it constantly. That's how the short system works. It's also they don't pay as much. And so basically if you're a content creator creating shorts, that really should be all you're doing. Your long forms will not get viewed because the subs you come in, they like shorts. It's not because they suck. It's just that's what they came in for. And so you're going to have bad CTRs on videos that don't like what you get people with is what you have to keep them with. Which, if you've noticed, is why I've been really trying to do content clusters, because I have a new channel. The algorithm doesn't know who I am. It was putting me only in Manosphere. I like some of that content. I do. I like talking about that stuff. I like talking about the anti-feminist stuff, but it's in a bigger picture. And so, yeah, I did that. That was fun. We were engaging. But then the algorithm was only engaging. And so if I ever did any other topic, if I wanted to, as you see, I like to talk about AI a lot because it's a very interesting topic as we're watching it progress, and how we relate to it is so important. And YouTube thinks like no one like it's not the topic, it's confused, so then that video sucks and it thinks it's bad and it doesn't show it. And the only people that really wanted to interact with my content were a lot of people and tried and true people, which I really appreciate all of y'all, but there was a whole lot of people, a lot of my subs that I have just want to comment on the hate, the rage bait more stuff, when I'm ranting, which I'm not rage baiting you on purpose, I'm just enraged at the time. So what I did have to start doing is just stop any of that topic and really focus on, because I want to do entertainment topics, because I produce stuff and how that relates to sociological stuff. This is a producer Elena thought channel. This is like a think piece dump channel for me. Like, this is not just one place. So and then you'll see, like, I did some tech stuff, and so this one I'm doing some more sociological, little mix of, I don't do a whole lot of economical, political stuff, but you'll see, like, I did talk about Spencer Pratt. You'll see a video I did about that. That's like 30 minutes mostly of me. The only reason I'm talking about that is because I like the hills. So you can see, like, why that I had to talk about Spencer. Like, there was no way that I couldn't talk about Spencer Pratt running for mayor in LA just because of I watched The Hills every year since it was created. Like, this is a big part of who I am as a person. It would be weird if I didn't talk about that. But other than that, I try to stay away from that so the algorithm doesn't bunch me into those groups, because I don't have a lot of, in my opinion, intelligent thoughts with details, and I haven't done a lot of research with all of the policies and really detailed about that, which is why I don't go into it, or economics. But I have a sociological, that's what I obviously talk about a lot. Sociological, psychological, how we are interacting and engaging with each other, because also that's what I do as a content creator career. This YouTube is not what I mean as content creation. This is like what I'm telling you when I tell you even content creators, sure, with this channel, but like with my clients, I want them, this is what I want you to do with creators, the people who are trying to make money. I want to do a community. I want to have 10 people in my membership that actually want to have engaging conversations. That's why I've been talking about the Patreon, because I really like the idea of a space, like a free space, and I know that the subscription space in YouTube is just not adequate for the type of community I want to do. I keep forgetting there's a chat, so let's see. The main way is to click the don't recommend option for any channel you aren't interested in. So I've heard conflicting views about clicking on the don't recommend, because you're engaging with the type of content. There is a chance that engagement will show as some sort of polarizing effect, meaning this is actual content that is affecting people, and that's what the algorithm wants. It wants you, the most effective thing you can do is to just not engage at all and hurt their click-through rate, or click in and only watch a little bit of it and click out. That will make it so the algorithm stops pushing them. That's the most effective thing you can do. Liking, disliking, the algorithm will push the video more because it's polarized. People are engaging, and that's all it wants. It wants you to click, and it wants you to stay there longer. It wants you to engage, wants you to get emotional, wants you to do something about the content. So there is an idea that possibly that is an issue. Also, there's an idea that it works as the Instagram suppression when you try to suppress the suggested, where it only suppresses it. It suppresses it for a time-stamped period. Like Instagram will only suppress something for 30 days, and it won't even suppress every aspect of that thing. It will just like the very like as small of an aspect of the thing it can, it will suppress, and it will show you every other thing, because all the algorithm is trained to do is to give you, to get money and to get the most engagement for the longest time. But in order to do it, they have to kind of hurt your brain. They have to train you. It's called programming. I mean, TV is programming. It's all you're being programmed, and that's not a conspiracy. That's just how life works. You're getting programmed by schools, by your parents, by what I'm saying, by everything that you're consuming. Even if you think that you're above it, it says, I mean, there's proverbs and stuff that just basically is like, you if a weed is growing there, the weed grows faster than any healthy plant, any good plant, and the weed will choke out all the plants. It will choke out the healthiness. Like any rot will grow faster than something will naturally grow well, or something will naturally fix. Or so that is what we learn in life. You know, even like healing mechanisms in your body, those work slower than the rotting mechanisms. That's what we're, you know, the type of systems that we're working with, and technology is the exact same. It's interesting if people, they really think that humans and technology, like we're all the same. Like the world works in the same way. Everything's degrading once it's created. It's not. Once it's at this, it gets up. There's a peak, and then there's a growth to a degradation. But that's like generally that's what it does. So, and that's life. It's not like a depressing thing. It's just a fact. Oh, more people. Yeah, I'm not saying that you're trying to hurt them. I'm just saying that if you don't want to see them, I'm not sure that it's actually affecting that. I also am very skeptical about just the system and what it says in general. Like the words it's using is very deceptive. It's manipulative. All AI systems are. I know that like the info icons on, say, YouTube, they'll tell you like, your CTR, your click-through rate is lower, and so you'll see like, oh, your click-through rate is low, or no, it'll actually tell you there's this one part of it where you're almost like you're at the very low end of your average click-through rate, and it will pop up this little info tab that tells you that this video is appealing to less people than usual, but it's not hurting your click-through rate, which it doesn't actually make. Like, the English doesn't match. Like, what it's saying is not actually what it's doing. It's decided your video, before it shows it, before it gives impressions, it's decided it's not appealing to anyone. So, whether it chose a random person and decided from one view, just that was the only view it was going to give, and that or if it just decided topically, or if it just decided because you're not doing a Manosphere video and it wants you to do Manosphere videos, that is not appealing to an audience. Maybe it's not appealing in their opinion, and the algorithm's opinion, you know, based on its data, to your audience that it's decided is your audience at that moment. And your audience in its mind switches video to video. That's how it grows. And so it'll not recommend it to people. And so your click-through rate won't be hurt because it's just showing it to a very tiny group of people because it doesn't think it's going to be appealing to anyone. So it's actually not really telling you the truth. It should just say the algorithm, or it doesn't appear that this video would be as appealing. So we're not showing it to as many people so that your click-through rate isn't being hurt. We're being more selective. I mean, yeah, that would take, I'm sure they could say that quicker than I did, but you see the point. Like, they could be a little more straightforward about what the actual buttons are doing. I believe that a lot of buttons don't do much, except for just show engagement, and promote the video and give you more of the video, even though you don't want the video, because algorithms aren't based on intent anymore. They're based on what they think you want. And based on what they think you want is sometimes just what they want you to want, and like I said earlier, what they want to train you to want. So it's interesting. I don't know these are theories, which is why we're chatting here. Well, I mean that's good. It doesn't work for me, so I don't know if I'm not sure why. Actually, yeah, I don't know why, because I pressed that. I had to actually stop because it just wasn't working, and I just stopped using anything that had those features that would recommend anything that, like, so when you don't even have that feature, don't recommend, when you're just on like the views that I watch. So I don't know, I don't even have that feature right now. But I honestly don't think most of the buttons, and if you look at the research out there, I don't really think those buttons do anything. That's my personal opinion. And but I do think that the like button does do something, and the dislike button does do the basic simple thing of showing that it's liked or disliked. It doesn't change the algorithm's behavior of that video unless it's excessive, but it will actually show the creator whether you liked it or disliked it. So I do think those are useful in the sense of signaling to a creator. I think it's hard because creators tend to not look at the dislikes because they'll have trolls, and there are people that just go and dislike videos just to do it. And you'll see that with a lot of big creators. They have a lot of trolls. So these are just the experience I have with some of the larger people that I help produce and run. And I experience it on a much smaller scale with this channel. But yeah, so I kind of came in with those sort of topics, but we can talk about other things. That's just been what's been on my mind, because I've been doing this video series specifically. If you don't know, I posted the first episode. So it's an 8-part series, and I know it's 8 parts. I'm pretty sure it's 8 parts because I recorded all one sitting. I sat there for 8 hours on what day? It was Thursday. All Thursday, I spent 8 hours. Finally, I have spent months and months, like 6, 7, 8, 9 months. I don't know, the outlining and thinking about this concept, doing some extra research, just conceptualizing it, thinking of coining these phrases that kind of fit with this, just having fun creating this theory. If you know any of the theories and shitification theories that other people have created, I like those. So I like to kind of do those things in my own brain. So I created this really big 8-part series about operators and users. That's just what I coined them. You can create your own theory and coin your own words, but that's what I decided to call certain things. And I created micro-generations that span not necessarily years, but the operator-user mindset. So it's actually like centuries. There are operators and users, and they're coexisting, and it's just a really interesting topic. And so I sat there 8 hours and recorded the entire flow of this, kind of how I had thought it and outlined it. I had some notes, and then I just sort of went. So each episode is 20 to 30 minutes long. Actually, most of them are about an hour or so recorded, which is why it's 8 hours, but I'm editing them down, don't worry. And I'm trying to get them down to the 25 to 35 minute marks, which is generally what I've been able to get my longer recordings, my rants, and my just stream of thoughts out. I've been able to get them down to about that concisely. So that is what I'm doing now, and that's kind of where my brain is just, I recorded this whole thing, I edited the first one, I finally got that up, and I was just looking into, I created this thumbnail. Please enjoy the thumbnails. You can't really see, it's hard to see. I'm trying to think like where you could see the thumbnails. Maybe I'll post the thumbnails on, oh, I guess, yeah, I have community posts, so you can see the video is posted there, so you can actually see the thumbnail, but it's kind of a Where's Waldo, so I created like little, I mean, it's not like hard Where's Waldo, but I created these little AI Where's Waldo robot, and I put it in the first one, and I have them in the second one. Last night I spent like hours, that's what I did after my nephew's birthday party. I spent hours creating this thumbnail for episode number 2, and I edited episode number 2 halfway down, so I gotta finish it, but today, and so I'll get that posted, and I'll probably schedule it for Tuesday or something. But you'll be able to see, you can look at these. I kind of tried to do a Where's Waldo meets the New Yorker cartoon kind of vibe, and so you can look through, and I tried to do almost anything that I talked about in the video. I tried to create like a little imagery for that. And so I really, it's a mishmash of things. So you'll see in the first video, there's the homeless encampments, there's the eat the rich, there's the hotel rioting, the twerking on the police cars that we're seeing the youth start doing. There's the executives and their hot tubs burning, you know, cash while they're to light their cigars, you know, and the suites up at the top, and there's a big robot, you know, stomping on Wall Street with. So I mean, there's Canal Street with like a fake bags over here, and then you see me. I tried to create like a little producer Elena avatar, all shocked. So and then you see some influencers who are you know. Walking with their dogs, their chihuahuas in the strollers, and they're drinking. You can't see it really unless you look up close, but so maybe I'll try to find like a way to share it with you so you can see up close. But they're drinking these jars full of, one of them's drinking Chad's tears, one of them's drinking working class tears. So that's what they're drinking, and they're little mason jars. And you know, again, I just was having fun with it. So that was the stuff I can think about. And then the second one that I just finished last night, it's about the rig Meritocracy. So it has helicopter parents up in helicopters throwing soccer balls and footballs and ballet shoes and violins down onto all these kids, the youth, the teens that are like waiting in line, and there's like this velvet rope, and some of them are like old and they have all these accolades and all these awards, and they're wearing graduation caps and they're still waiting in the line, and some of them are babies that are being held by their like parents, and they're in their cap and gowns with their pacifiers, and some of them are like holding these paintings with awards, and they're just all holding all their crazy accolades, that these things that don't even matter anymore because you have to get more and more and more, and they're waiting in line for their turn, and then they're trying to get up on the ladder, and the ladder is actually like twisting and going all these wrong directions, and you see people like falling, like some people trying to climb in and fall off the ladder. So it's kind of a education and corporate kind of rigged meritocracy, rigged corporate ladder system in there. And of course there's the little AI wears Waldo in there as well, and again, he's not like super hidden, but it's been fun for me to try to do these little thumbnails, and I'm gonna do them for all 8 and try to make them about very specific, so you can have like little Where's Waldo for every video. But I'm gonna try to be releasing 2 a week. It's, you know, I do have to edit them, but they're all recorded, so they're done recorded. But as I said, there are hours that I have to cut down, much shorter, for hopefully for you to follow it better and for you to not get super bored. But it's a fun thing that I've been thinking about, so that's what's on my brain, and that's kind of why I came in with this topic. Oh, hi Chris, happy Sunday. Oh, I'm glad you like long videos. Yeah, I really like long videos, even when the people I follow, they do like 15 or 16 minute videos. It's like, because your brain actually takes 15 minutes to start focusing. So by the time that you've actually been enthralled, like by the time your brain is really the supreme focus on the topic, the video is over, if it even got that far. So that's when I do have shorter videos. I try to do a mixture so it caters to people, and you know, I don't always have 20-minute worth of, well, okay, I always have 20 minutes worth of thoughts, but 20 minutes worth of thoughts that you might want to hear, I don't always have that. So sometimes I do shorter ones, and I only have a little time, and that's what I throw up. But at the same time, I do think about that. Like, I didn't even give people, if they only watched a 6-minute video, I didn't give them enough time to even get their brain thinking about the topic. Not even enough time for everything else. If you were focused and you weren't even distracted in one way or another, if you're just looking at a screen, actually focused on the words coming out of my mouth, like that, if that's what you were doing only focused, really following, being engaged for 15 minutes, that's when your brain would be at maximum capacity of attention for this topic. It would actually be in the topic. So even if you get a ding on your phone and you notice that your brain goes backward, and then you have to take like the 15-minute, I don't know if it's a full, I think it might be 8 minutes or something, there's like a span, but then it's like 8 minutes to get back to where you were. And so when you really think about that, my videos aren't super effective for a real conversation starter unless it gets someone thinking, where afterwards their brain's still thinking about it because they had actually engaged with it enough. So that's kind of where I'm thinking too. I do like the long videos. I like that I know that I'm teaching myself to focus longer on the ones that I'm watching, as well, like on one topic, because I see it. I'm not, it's hard for me. I will get distracted very easily. You can see just doing these videos, my brain, like I'll lose my train of thought so easily. I do the squirrel thing, you know, but yeah, just like that. I just lost my train of thought. It'll come back probably. Usually I can like just sort of fill in the gap while my brain works on it. I was thinking, and tell me, do you think this would be interesting? We're off that topic. Apparently we moved on. I was thinking, because I mentioned the behavioral panel, I really love watching that. It's hours and hours, so you can tell where my brain is. Oh, that's what I was talking about. So yeah, even me, I have trouble focusing for very long, but I'm working on it. So the behavioral panel, 360 here. It's hours and hours, so I love watching, especially at night, and I try to really focus, and it's hours. And what they do is they teach you like how body language is, and they teach you about learning baselines so that you can figure out, like, because just because one person is doing something that might be generally deceptive, it might actually just be their baseline. And so you can see, like with me, I do a lot of gestures, so if I'm not doing gestures, I'm probably tired. Maybe I'm being more deceptive. I mean, I would say I try not to deceive people in general, but maybe I have more of like, I'm being less creative and more like I'm being more intentional with like, I have something I need to say. It's very rare, or like something else is happening, so I'm not super focused on what I'm saying, because and maybe this is why I do the gestures, to keep me on track, to keep my brain on what I need to be talking about right now. So if I'm not doing that, maybe it's also because my brain's somewhere else. So I had a concept of doing like a little mini video. It's just fun, but taking some of my older videos. I have one where I did the AI crash, the AI empathy bubble. The crash is here. It was a more recent one, but I did that one. And there's a part where I say the person who coined and developed the name and researched of Uncanny Valley is Masahiro Mori. And so for a long time, that's not an easy name for me to say personally. That's just it's not I don't know if it's a regular name in Japan, you know, but it's not a name in the United States that I hear a lot. So Masahiro Mori, and so I'm trying to say like this thing, and I know all the facts, the basic facts, but I kept having to like look at the page of my notes, like Masahiro Mori. Like it was really hard to get it done. And so there's this one part, it happens where I say his name, and I can see it, and as I'm editing, I can see it, where there's a split second where I am shocked that I said the name right. And you can see it, and I keep going. I guess I play it off. I mean, I can tell, but I have these moments often where I say something and I'm like surprised, or like either in awe or like upset about like what I just said. Like I'm just like disgusted by it, like just something where you can actually see my reaction, and it's a split second, but then you can actually start noticing them, because it's the baselines, the things that I will do when I say something and I actually am like excited that I presented that argument how I had been thinking it, because I don't always present things the best way, but in my head they sound great. And so sometimes I say something and I'm like, man, yeah, bam, and I feel it, but you know, I gotta continue on the topic. I can't act like I'm excited that I said words accurately. You know, I expressed myself accurately. So my thought was I would do a video where I would take some of these pieces and kind of do what the behavioral panel does, and play a little piece and be like, this is what I'm doing. And then you can enjoy that and watch me, maybe learn something about behavior, but also maybe have fun making fun of me and some of these videos. Because as I'm editing things, I'm just cracking up, and I wonder if other people can see it, because I know myself. I have an eye twitch. Chris, you should appreciate that I did my flip, that you can read it. You've complained about that, so I did make a point to flip my video today. Yeah, I don't even know where I was saying now. I just got really excited because I remembered, Chris, you had said about my video needing to flip so you could read. So proof right there. I don't even know what I was saying there. Oh yeah, so um, I have, yeah, different times when there was one time where I have this little donut cushion that my cat like crawls in, and he sleeps, and it's right over there, and I always look over there and look at him, and it's right there on the couch. And I was recording once and making this really good point, and then he was sleeping. He was so deep in his sleep, and he just fell off the couch, and he, like, his leg was just sticking out. He was still sleeping, and I'm over here like recording, and I see him, and you don't actually see him fall, but you see my reactions. And so I have these interesting things where I feel like it might be funny to go through. So you can let me know if you like that idea. If not, that's fine. I still will probably do it. but if you like the idea, let me know. Let me know. So yeah, that was, I think, that whole concept. I was trying to think of any other of the fun things. It's just, as I'm going, like, I pull the things aside. So I have a lot of little clips there that are just, they're kind of funny. Different times when you can see I'm not able to see because I'm not, like, there was a time when I wasn't wearing contacts, and so you can tell I can't focus on anything. And I'm just like looking off in the distance, and it's actually pretty funny. And I look off in the distance a lot. Like, I guess that's where you go for your eyes to think. But you can tell, like, if my eye goes in a certain direction. Maybe I'm pulling on memory. Over here, I'm trying to organize something. If I go in a certain direction, I have to watch myself so I can tell you. But, like, there's certain times when I have something that I want to say, and I'm stopping myself from going there. And my eyes will, like, go a direction to try to figure out the way to say it to avoid that, trap. I don't know, the whole minefield of just avoid that explosive device. So that is something I've been really thinking about for my next video to do, just for fun. But that might take a while, so I'll probably do, like, other smaller stuff in the meantime. I do have my soda here. I'm just gonna drink more Coca-Cola. I usually always have one. A lot of my videos, you'll see it over there in the corner. And yesterday, I'm gonna be doing these streams on Saturdays for like an hour. I'm thinking around noon might be the best time for me. However, I've asked some people, if that's the best time that works, I could probably adjust my morning / afternoon to put an hour in there. I'd like to do it on Saturdays, but I also like to do it at a time when people are available. And, in the midweek during, like, work days, it just doesn't seem like a time that most people would be, like, available in the middle of work day. I don't know. That's my thoughts. I work freelance, so I can create my own schedule, but in general, usually I have meetings and things in the middle of the work day. So it's hard to always say, like, oh, Tuesdays I can always do it on this day, because what if, like, I need to do a scheduled meeting that day, which Saturdays, it's very rare, except for I will have this all-day event for a client on a Saturday, so that does happen, but most of the time, Saturdays, I can at least carve out an hour, and it's something I would like to do. So let me know what time might be the best. It's 1 p.m. I think I got on here like 16 minutes late. I'm gonna maybe try to stay for 16 more minutes. I actually usually, you'll find this about me, because I have a soda, but I'll sip on this for hours. Like, I don't just, like, chug it. So I'll sip on this, like, it's just for glucose, I guess, just like sugar. I don't know. I think it's a safety blanket, because I've done it since I was in high school. We had at my school, just, you could go up in your cafeteria, you get a soda, a Coca-Cola, and in Venezuela they didn't have, like, a lot of options, so it was always Coca-Cola. And I mean, I liked it, but this is not an ad. But so yeah, basically, I would always have this, and so I do think that is some sort of, like, security thing. But I also always have some sort of, like, water, and I don't have that today. So I may have to go and grab a water. It's because I need, when you're talking, you actually need water. And Coca-Cola is just not that It's not for hydration. And if you notice, you can't see over there. Sometimes you'll notice a video I do have, and you'll probably say, like, you probably have this large glass of water over there. Yeah, that's my cat's water, because I have to have a glass of water that looks exactly like my cat's water, but I have to get up and walk for it and pick it up and go drink it over there, because he likes to, if I have any water over here, he'll think it's his, and he likes it. Like, he will only drink out of human glasses, like nice glasses, or tall clear glass. Like, that's just what he likes. I don't know why. So yeah, I have human glasses, different places for him to drink out of. And so one of them, you'll notice in some videos, you'll see the water over there. There's always, that's my cat's water, and it's always near my soda, which is, actually, if I had, I've seen it. My cat, I've had, a glass, and I've had like Coke in a glass, and he will drink that if I leave it open. So I guess he just likes drinking out of glass, like human glasses, cups, glasses. Anyway, but that's a weird side. But so, and this is kind of a setup. I haven't even hung this up. This is not the thing I'm gonna keep there. I'm just trying to like put something more than just the white on white, because that's the experience. It's very one color. so I felt like at least having a few other colors, and then this is beige couch, and then gray. Like I'm just, there's not a lot of color here. I need to work on that. I don't know, because this is like an area, it really wouldn't make sense to actually decorate this spot in my room, just specifically like where the camera is, and like how low it would be. Like, it would be like someone would walk in and be like, that's weird. But oh well. I am trying to maybe make it more dynamic, but that's my old show. That's an old radio show that I used to be executive producer of for 12 years. That was where I got my start. I was an intern first. And one day I will probably tell that whole story. I try not to talk about the actual show too much, only because I'm not affiliated with them. And so, like, now I love them. I'm close with Lunchbox still, and we catch up, obviously, say happy birthday. Eddie's birthday is right after mine, the 21st, and Amy's birthday is right before mine, the 18th, of March. So basically, it's like all three birthdays right there. It's March 18th, March is Amy's, then March 19th mine, and then the 21st is Eddie's. So we always have that, and Lunchbox is in July. It's like July 25th, maybe 24th. I have to look. I mean, I have them on my calendar. Anyway, so like we still we'll say happy birthday and those things. Bobby's April 2nd. But I do say stuff that I guess could be polarizing, and so I definitely want to be clear. None of these opinions have anything to do with the old show. They don't agree with everything I say. I don't talk to them about this stuff. They don't talk to me about this stuff. Same with my family. I don't talk to them about my stuff. They don't watch my stuff. And most of, like, my sisters, they're not on the same viewpoints as me on most things. We just don't really talk about that stuff. We talk about other things. So, and we're family and stuff. But that's why you'll know I do talk about radio years, and it was very important to me, and they are very important to me, and I have a lot of radio memorabilia. I have my Academy of Country Music Award over there. I think you might see it in the background of some videos, near my home pod, or I have a lamp it's like an Art Deco lamp, and it's a golden lion with a crown. It's very, very me. It's very, very extra. So you might see those in some of my older videos with my Christmas tree. But I have so much memorabilia, but I hesitate to put it up because, again, I'm not like, these are memorabilia from my life and career versus like wanting to say anyone agrees with my opinion. I just don't want to give that assumption, I guess is what I'm saying. So that's what I'm saying. But I know like Sunday is probably a lot of like church day or just go out and do your own thing day. It's like, I don't expect this to be like a big time for a lot of interaction. If you're in chat, you can talk to me, But I do want to do, I think Saturdays is going to be the day. But if you think Sunday is better, also let me know if you've gotten this far. I am trying to wrap this up. This is, I guess, going to be a slightly shorter video. It took me a little longer to get on. And I don't know if that's something, if I say, hey, I'm going to be on at 12, if that's just always going to be a problem, that it always takes me like 10 minutes to get my system like doing what it needs to do. And that may be the case. Also, I am trying to talk loud. I do try to talk loud, but I do know that I need to figure out the audio thing. It's annoying me. It's annoying, so I am aware. I don't have any setup. I only have my XLR mics, and I don't have any sort of Scarlett. I don't have any interface, and I guess I could get like a Blue Yeti or something really basic. I don't really want to spend time. If I want to get like a Shure, like what M180, or if I want to get like, I mean, honestly, I would like an RE20. If I'd be like my dream microphone, this would be an RE20. I'm just very much, it's a condenser mic, it's XLR, and I would need an interface like a Scarlett, but it's just a beautiful sound. It's just a very classic mic. Very good with sound control as well, which I think would be useful for me. And it's just a clean mic, and it processes, so if I don't have a processor, it's just really clean on its own, so I won't need a processor. So that would be, but they're so expensive, so that would be my ideal mic situation. But you can see why I bought, like, it was $10. I'm sure I could have spent more, but I bought a lav mic. I don't like them in general, and so I did just buy one really quick just to see if I couldn't do it. I couldn't handle it. Like, it was so bad. It's like, that's how bad it was to me, that I'm preferring the audio you're listening to now, which is awful, to the lav mic audio. It was that bad. So I'm probably gonna have to maybe, I don't know, figure that out. Also, my phone overheats, and so it starts freezing, and I forgot this time to take it out of the case. That is something I need to remember to do. But even when I take it out of the case, after a while it will start freezing. It is why I was able to move my phone and have the OBS set up, so I was able to get that set up, and it's doing a lot better. Hopefully you're seeing improvement. I know that it was struggle bus for a while. I know that. Especially in the beginning, it was decent when I was at my desk and I had my Christmas tree. Everything looked nice. The lighting was fine it was just a desk light, and I had to move my desk light over here. I no longer have a desk light. And I understood, but that was just not where I could do live streams, and I just can't move all my work stuff every day. So I had to have something that I could have a little more easily set up, or easily dealt with. And so that's what I've been trying to deal with, is something where I can take it down, but then put it back up almost immediately the exact same way. So that's why it's just going to take a little to get those things, but we did figure out last time, Camo Studio is not good. The OBS is definitely, this is what I look like, this is more my skin. I am using like touch-up filters, but like I am pale, and it's not turning me super yellow. That's great. I'm excited about that. I honestly thought I was like having health issues I was like, why do I look so yellow? It was just, and like no matter what light, but I'm working, because also whatever light color you have, like it does change that, but I don't care about that. So hopefully you're enjoying. It is getting better. I do want to make it like a pleasing aesthetic and environment that's not distracting for you. Like Chris, you had mentioned that the Bobby Bones show, or you had mentioned my video was just backward, and they're generally usually backwards. I just don't bother flipping them around. It's not a hard thing to do. I know that. I just never bothered to do it. It's just an extra step that I just never remembered to do prior to recording. And then a lot of times I never remember to do it after I recorded. Right now I have it flipped in OBS, so now hopefully every time I turn on my recording, it will always be permanently flipped. Not sure why it took me this long to do this, but Chris, these are why the comments. I mean, yes, nitpicking seems nitpicky, but these comments I do listen to, and they matter because I don't want people to be so distracted by my horrible presentation, my glowing hands, the flipped video, that they're not able to try to listen to the words I'm saying, because already I don't always express things in the most linear fashion. I think I'm fairly clear. I try to keep be clear and accurate with the words I use, but I know that I jump around and I have like a theme. I jump around and I do have like a concept that comes full circle, but you generally have to get to the end to see the first full circle or hear me say the parts that I clearly have missed or that I know I'm aware that I missed something and all of this. So you'll see me address some of the things. Sometimes it'll take me an entire 20-minute video and then the last 5 minutes is like, this could have been a 5-minute video. That was the Manosphere video. I recorded an entire video, and it wasn't until the end that I was like, that I really got to the point, and this whole video could have been said in this time. But I still, kept the whole thing. I still liked the bunny trail we went along. But, so, anyway, these are just me and my thoughts, how I run along. The more people that come on and as we go, I expect, more people. The last time on Saturday, it was a bigger chat. There was a lot more people available to chat. The funny part was, I think the chat got more lively after like in hour 2. So I'm wondering if it like takes that long for people to, even know. Like I did post on my community page if YouTube ever shows it to people or if you actually purposely go to look, right? Like who does that? I did post that I was going to do it today. I was going to do a live stream today. But I only posted it yesterday. I could have probably posted it earlier. I probably can start doing like a schedule post where it actually shows like schedule for the stream. I think maybe that would be helpful. And then you could actually know. So maybe I'll start doing that. Maybe a day or two ahead, I'll throw up the scheduled live stream and whatever it's, if I have a theme. I usually don't have a theme ahead of time because if I come in thinking I'm going to talk about something, but that's not what I'm in the mood to talk about that day, like it's just not going to work out. And also, generally speaking, like if I watch Asmongold, I don't know where he actually streams originally from, but I watch him on YouTube afterwards, after they're posted and edited. But, he'll do cop cams. I love the cop cams, the dash cams, and I like when he does those commentaries, so I'll watch those. But he seems to come in like, it seems like he has ideas of things he wants to talk about, or maybe he's getting suggestions from people, but then he like really follows the chat. I don't even know how he keeps up with it. When you watch these people do, like, I don't know, because I have trouble keeping up with remembering that someone's talking to me in the first place. So these are things. Oh, the bring that back, you liked it? I don't know if this has Spotlight, if OBS has it. It was a Spotlight feature, so yeah, the glowing hands happened in Camo Studio. It was a Spotlight feature. You press Spotlight, and I guess it spotlighted everything in the front, and you really couldn't tell it everywhere else except for in the hands against like the background. It was, yeah. So what video was that? That was my Boss Girl video, maybe that was my Boss Girl video, or why memory is so weird. I don't know, it was around that era. The Camo Studio dark days of my channel where I could not get that right. We're still in a renaissance kind of phase, but it's getting better. I do feel like my early days, the videos were much stronger as far as quality recording, but I just could not keep that up, as we've discussed. So we're gonna move along. Yeah, but yeah, I am gonna try to do this, and I'm wondering if an hour is effective enough, or if I should wait. And this is something like a few of you have emailed me recommendations of things, and I've told you I'm not sure that YouTube's the right place for me. It's not really showing my stuff, and I've been thinking about that a lot. And it's not necessarily because of I want discoverability. I want a community. So if you listen to the very beginning of this live stream, I did talk about the just that whole concept. So you can go back. I don't want to rehash everything. I actually remembered one of the things that I had forgotten. It came to my mind. That's why I mentioned this thing, the flip, because I was saying that at one point, I don't know which eye it is, but I have it's obvious. It's not oh, surprise. I have a little eye thing that when I'm thinking and I'm really it's I don't know if it's grab that, grab that. Is that the right word? Like, I'm not sure, so I have to actually look as I'm doing, and that's where the behavioral panel concept comes in of doing that video, because you see me do it, and I even like I don't know, but I do it like a lot. And sometimes I do it because I have contacts and just like I have very long eyelashes, and it's just like things just get in my eyes a lot, so I'll always like have to do something like that. So yeah, sometimes it'll be just like I'm really trying to act normal while my contact is like freaking out and it's like trying to fall out of my eye or something. So that will happen. But then other times and again, I don't know which eye, and so I'll have to like figure out exactly what I'm doing, what I'm thinking. But you'll see, like, I do this little eye twitch. I don't know. It's just like it's a thinking thing I do, and maybe it has to do with like something to do with like I don't know the things, but it's actually fascinating. I do a lot of editing other people, but I just have never spent time editing myself, and I don't look in the mirror often. I don't like looking in the mirror, and I don't have a lot of them around. I don't like selfies. I just don't like it's just so weird. And I don't like hearing myself, and so when I'm editing it's just a whole new experience. It's these things that I'm like, wow, I do that a lot. And I guess I just do it a lot. So anyway, okay, so thank you, Chris, and other crowd investigators 130, Chris Moore 9997. I'm trying to say all your names. Thank you for coming. Thank you for all the concurrent viewers that I'm seeing in there and who are liking and who just haven't said anything. It's fine. I always am on live streams and I don't like say anything. So I appreciate you even showing up, coming on here. Thank you. And, you know, all the future viewers in the future, hopefully you have watched my series, and hopefully I have multiple videos up, but definitely check out the One-Eyed King series. It's called The One-Eyed King in the Land of the Blind because it is about the competency crisis that we're facing that will affect financial, it will affect Wall Street, it will affect corporate, it will affect educational system. It is affecting it, and how we can avoid it. What skills you can actually learn by the end I will have established, and I established it in the first episode, a few aspects of it, but then I build on it and I go into a historical concept of why I believe this, and so you see where the development goes. The next episode, episode 2 that I'm about to release, is going to be kind of about the boomer, Gen X, and then early millennials, and then because you saw the first one is a lot about me and my like generation, just like the concept of alpha tech operator, not necessarily 1984, but just that concept, where the second one kind of starts differentiating early millennials from the mid and late stage millennials, in the relation to the rig meritocracy and how that works and what the boomers and the system has done to keep people down, to not allow people to advance, to create this rig meritocracy where it's just a horizontal movement and no upward mobility. That is the second episode. The third episode goes into the millennial parenting issue, the gentle parenting fiasco, the participation trophy era, because the episode 2 explains what they were in, like what created their mindset that broke them. And then the episode 3 goes into, now that they're broken, how does that relate to their parenting to Gen Z and Gen Alpha as we're going forward, right? And so that's what the progression will go into, and eventually it will get into, yes, no matter if you're Gen X, Boomer, a millennial, no matter what stage of millennial you are, whether you're Gen Z, Gen Alpha, Gen Beta, you can develop and become a part of the Alpha Tech operator. You can be a one-eyed king in the land of the blind, and the one-eyed king is just keeping that eye open, keeping your logic skills, keeping that Boolean logic that I do explain as we go further, and keeping that competency, being able to build the systems that we are reliant on, because there are operators and there are users, and if you are just a user, everything crashes, and you're a leader of that system, like you have no one except for an operator to figure out how to rebuild it. When everything crashes, and it will all crash if AI takes over, no matter what conspiracy you believe, the end is doom. Well, there will be a human there, and that human hopefully will be an operator that will be able to remember something, to start piecing the pieces together. And yeah, it'll be a slow ride, but at least they have conceptual things. Maybe they remember radios. Maybe you have to start really small and you have to build the machines again. Because to create the chips that we have right now that created the AI, takes so much technology. Someone said this in a comment of my first video, which is out, so you can watch that right now, so mosey on over there after this. But they commented about that. I didn't even think about it. The people who own the resources, like the early, just the copper, the things that created the early chips, the early chip, just the actual immediate parts, just the parts that needed to be created so that the computer existed, so that there was even a computing process. Remember when computers started, they didn't even have like the full screen. It was more like a little calculator screen, if they even had a screen. They had the little calculator thing, and they were more like glorified typewriters, like that would be in printer mix, like a hybrid. And then like you started to add the monitors on top, and they didn't have mice, but like why did they didn't really have anything they needed to click, they didn't even have an interface, they didn't have pixels. Like to create these things, you had to create all the pieces. So like if you want to be the king of the world, when this is and it's happening rapidly, when this crisis, when this fall happens, knowing how to create from scratch, from scratch, not just AI code from scratch, like actual computer, like anything electronic from scratch. How to get electricity from nothing, get your potatoes, the 2 potatoes, and put them, make electricity. Like if you know that, you are going to be that one-eyed king in the land of the blind. So you can see I'm really excited about the concept. I've been thinking about it for months and months, so and I did just record all of those 8 hours, so I would really appreciate if you do watch those, watch all the way through. Don't watch them if you're not willing to watch all the way through, because it's hurting my AVD and I want to get conversations started. But in order to do that, I have to have the algorithm think my video's good to reach the people that want to have the conversation. So if you don't want to have a conversation, that's totally fine. Don't go to that video, because I really want the videos to do well, the series to do well, because what I'm getting, if you look at the comments, are just really well thought out comments that are helping me even understand this concept more. And this is helping me live life, right? Like this is how I view life. I'm not just making this up because I just want to like, have a concept. I'm making up because this is actually how I see the world. If you want to follow Producer Elena as like a channel, as a brand, as who I am, that is it. Understanding this series, you will understand how I think. Whether you agree with it, whether you like it, it's literally how I think. And I'm trying to express it in an entertaining way, but yeah, that you will know me and how I even process my own thoughts and why I go on tangents and all of that. Like if you watch this, you will see it. You will see that understanding of the operator mindset that I'm trying to build, I'm trying to maintain, I'm trying not to lose, because you can lose it. You can turn into a user, and I don't want to be that person. And I see it happening in spaces. I see it happening. Same with just even coming on here. I believe if I had started YouTube earlier, I would probably be better, not just more eloquent, better to speak because I had been practicing for longer, but I believe my vocabulary has been limited based on technology over all these years. And I haven't been utilizing, I don't talk as much. I listen, but I don't talk. So I'm intaking all these vocabulary that is programming me, changing the way I think and speak, and the words that I grab naturally, and I'm not thinking about the new words. I'm not trying to speak accurately and express in a descriptive way, use different words, unique identifiers to really describe a concept. So I feel like I lost that ability a little bit that I had much more when I was in high school, when I was writing essays, when I was in college, like when you had to use those skills. And so these are the skills that now I'm trying to figure out, okay, how do I continue to develop those? I believe that this channel and doing these series, these 8-episode deep dives that are all connected in this weird kind of mishmash that you really have to big picture and then dig right in to understand, I think that is building back these connections in my brain that have been lost due to using an easier automation system, using AI to finish stuff. The things that it's in the video. I don't hate AI. I don't hate social. I'm not hating on any one thing specifically for it being that thing. It's really about what are we doing to replace the thing that's being lost. That's the problem with a lot of the advancements. Advancing in itself isn't bad, but you're losing thought processes and engagement that we have that is developing our brain. And if you don't replace that, we don't want to do cursive anymore. Okay, well, first of all, you should be able to read your Constitution. It's not that old. And second of all, a lot of things are in cursive. A lot of documents just from our lifetime are in cursive. But it also develops understanding in your mind better. It helps you connect things better. It will help you be able to connect the dots anywhere if you have learned cursive. It's just the way that it helps you process. It's amazing what writing, physical writing, can actually do for your brain function. So if you're taking away cursive, what are you doing to replace it to create those connections? And that's a thing I ask about in the video. That's a big part of the video, is about not just complaining about the issues where we're at, but like, what are we going to do to bring back this mindset? If we're going to continue this direction with technology, where do we fix the lost skills? Because we didn't realize until now that we actually lost skills. And so now that we know, okay, these are the skills, how do we get those back? How do we change systems? How do we change something so that we are still using those parts of our brain on a daily basis? And you see it in everything, the pendulum swing. I do talk about that a lot in the episode too. You see people say, go touch grass. Like, people are starting to talk about eating healthy. I mean, things are coming full circle in that way of, like, get outside, do something. So we're starting to see we have had bad effects from staying inside, but being afraid to go outside, from being afraid of the sun, from over sunscreening. The sun isn't the most horrible thing. You know, the sun itself is actually healthy to be under. It's just there's certain ways to engage with the sun that are much less healthy, and lengths of time and different things. So it's just we go so extreme. It's like, oh, the sun, you can get skin cancer, the sun's harmful, this and that. Well, now we can't go in the sun anymore. And that kind of tends to be how people react, very extreme, rather than trying to moderate. I'm not saying get rid of all technologies, so don't see any of these videos as like, this is, I'm identifying a pattern that I feel like I'm seeing, and trying to see, like, well, if this is the pattern, how do we now, knowing that this is what's caused it, maybe, and I try to identify like the actual root, so then we can address a different way to fix it. If you don't know the root, yeah, you can see the fruit, but I see a lot of commentaries, a lot of political things out there. Everything out there is just talking about what, you know, the reaction. It's all like, this is what's happening. And yes, I do talk about this is what it is, but I, in all my videos, try to say, okay, this is what it is, but why? I try to find out why, because you cannot fix something just by talking about what it is. You have to know why it became what it is. What did it start as? Was there an intention to start as this? Because that's the learning from history. This is not like rocket science. It's just the concept of learning from mistakes, and history is doomed to repeat itself. These are phrases. They're cliche phrases because everyone knows them, and they're actually accurate. You know, history is doomed to repeat yourself if you don't learn from it. So, I don't know where that tangent came from. See, I guess like this is why I did that series, because this is a concept I could talk for a long time on. So definitely, please go watch that. And oh, I have new people. I have other comments. Wait, I was about to leave. See, this is where I do I forget what you called it. It's where you don't actually leave. You say goodbye a million times, but you never leave. That's what I'm doing now. Yes, you were about half an hour in before I got the note. See? So, exactly. So I'm not sure. Maybe I'll have to span like a 2 hour and be like, maybe I'll try to get on at noon, but I'll be on for like a 2 hour to give people more time to see the notification. Yeah, YouTube's just a weird system, but at least you're getting notified, and I'm glad. And then let's see, other people. He's pretty cool. Oh, thank you. Okay. So is it Nivision 622, or is it like Nifivon 5 ion? NVI 5 ion 622? I'm saying it wrong. Is this yeah, okay. Anyway, Envision 6, is that it? Oh my gosh. Okay, I feel like there's gonna be people who just come on like with fake accounts making weird names just to have me try to say their name. So I like to say your full names. But yeah, I do like him. He lives in Austin, I believe. But when I lived here prior to moving, because I lived here, moved here after I lived in Venezuela. I graduated in Venezuela I was there for 4 years, and I graduated. Yes, technically like 4 to 5 years. But I graduated from high school there and moved to University of Texas, to Austin, to go to University of Texas at Austin. And so I was here, and that's when I got into radio. That's when I did my internship at radio. And I ended up, our show moved in 2013 to Nashville, and we flipped, and so we ended up moving. That's why I left Austin and Texas in the first place, was with the show to go to Nashville. And then I left the show after several years to go move on my own to New York. And then eventually I moved back when my little sisters got pregnant, and I wanted to be near family and see, my nephews and stuff grow. So that was kind of the trajectory. But when I was in Austin earlier, YouTube was really new, and I guess Asmongold wasn't around, but I thought I would have definitely been like one of those like local, like, oh, he lives in my town, not like a creeper, you know what I mean? But like you feel special, like someone's in your town. So yeah, it's interesting to see like all these people in Austin now that do YouTube. I guess Austin's kind of a popular spot. Florida seems to be popular too for a lot of YouTubers, which I find interesting. A lot of people are leaving New York and LA and those sort of places, like me, who did entertainment, but just like it just like wasn't viable to be there anymore. I do like Austin, sort of, but I really miss seasons. I like weather. Not hot weather, I guess. We have weather technically here. It's only hot. And I have so many sweaters from New York, and sweaters are the best. They're my favorite type of clothing, and we can't use them. So that's my but I do wonder, like, I have to look back at his channel to see how long he's been on YouTube, because he's really popular, and I wonder if he was on YouTube when I was on the radio here, like if we were coinciding, or if he was like, I don't know, because YouTube existed. It was just such a whole different environment there. But yeah, when we were on the radio, our local radio, we were on 96.7 Kiss FM. So it does make me wonder. So yeah, if you know that history. There are also other people, like Sydney, I think, is in Texas somewhere, maybe closer to Houston. But there's a lot of us that I watch in Texas, so maybe that's like a mindset thing. I wonder why. Or do you think that they connect you regionally? And this is something we'll connect to the very beginning of the live stream. I was talking about CTRs and AVDs and stuff, but we were discussing, the other crowd investigators 130, we were discussing whether or not the don't recommend actually did what we think it does. He thinks it does, and his experience is actually doing it. My experience is I didn't feel like it was doing it, but he seems to actually have been watching it closer than me. So my experience is I didn't think it was doing anything. Whether I was right or not, I couldn't be sure. He seemed more sure. So that's what I would say about that conversation. He seemed more sure. But if you're just wondering about why, I do wonder, like, is it a regional thing? I'm in Texas, so if you're getting something like, this is interesting. So Asmon, oh look, I did that eye twitch thing. This is my left eye. So I guess when I connect with something interesting. Yeah, I do. I was talking about behavioral thing. I do like this weird eye twitch. Anyway, so Asmon actually played, and he had said, like, recently, in the last few weeks, Sydney Watson, who I watch, I love watching her, and he played a clip of hers, because he does reaction, and not just reaction, I don't want to, like, make it diminutive sounding, like, he reacts to a lot of videos and different things, but he played her video, and I like how he plays it. He'll play, like, a full thing. He doesn't mess around. Like, he'll even play their ads and stuff. Like, he'll give them all that credit. I like that. And he played it. He said he had never heard of her before, and he played a whole thing that I forget which specific episode it was, but it was funny that he had never heard of her before, but she had, I guess, been recommended to him. So I wonder who did it. Was it one of his fans that recommended, or did she come up on the feed? Are the same people coming up on all of our feeds now? It's funny when you see, like, someone, and they just heard of someone that is one of the first people that got me actually back on social media. I call YouTube social media. But I hadn't been on YouTube. Like, I didn't go on YouTube. I didn't go on social media for years. Like, I think there was a good 4 years about that I didn't go. Unless it was by accident, I didn't go on YouTube or social media. Except for I would post a picture of my Christmas tree once a year. So that was what I did on social media for like several years span. And then I tried to post a few times, and then I just like, I couldn't, I can't, I'm not a social media person. And so I just couldn't keep up with it. But I try sporadically, but I did spend a good about 3 to 4 years where I was not even on, like, never, not subscribed to one channel, like nothing. I had a YouTube channel because I had been on YouTube, and I had been on it and right away early on, but I hadn't even so much as subscribed to a channel. And Sydney Watson was one of the reasons why I started actually subscribing and honing my subscription feed, because I wanted to watch her videos, and I could watch her videos, like all of them. She talks about all these different topics, but I could watch all, like, any video for hours. Like, if I'm in a Sydney Watson mood, I'll just watch her stuff. If I'm in behavioral pattern mood, I'll just watch her stuff. If I'm in Asmongold, I'll watch his stuff. Generally speaking, I'm often in a dash cam mood. so I'll watch those. I like the more fun Karen ones. Like, I guess they're not fun for the cop, but I don't like the serious ones as much. But there was one that where this girl was, where was she? I don't know, she wanted some discount, but she was in like a Ross or something, and she was sitting there like inside this little spot where they keep like bags in the counter, like refusing to leave because she wanted to get her boyfriend who worked there his discount. I guess he worked in corporate or something. I'm not sure. Pretty sure he did not work there after that, but they called the cops. She was trespassed, but she was dragged out, and like it was I don't know, for some reason I really enjoy that. I shouldn't. These are not. I should work on that, but anyway, so yeah, I'll watch those for it just depends, like, what time of day. I do also like to try to watch more productive things, and I do try to keep up with news. I'll watch Anton Daniels. He does a lot of social commentary news, so I really like him as well. And these aren't people that I agree with everything they say, but you probably don't agree with everything I say. We're not supposed to. We're all different. But these are the people that are on my subscriptions. Like, I don't do Discovery any other way, but through these people's videos, and then what's suggested and recommended under them if I'm in that mood. Officer Tatum, obviously Brandon Tatum, I would obviously watch. I do watch Megyn Kelly. I liked her more prior. She's gotten kind of weird past like 8 or 9 months. I'm not sure what's going on, but she was always, because when I was in New York, I was executive producer for The Filter, progressive, SiriusXM, progressive. They had a left-leaning progressive talk show, which is funny because I'm not. But I don't care. I'll work for someone, and I'll work with someone with their views. Like, I'm not that person that can't like interact with someone who thinks completely different than me. Anyway, so Nomiki Konst was like the host, and so I was the producer, and I was there. It was just for a quick time. It was right when the 2016 elections, so we like kind of created this quick show on SiriusXM, and I remember that. What was that? I mean, it was a midnight show. We started at midnight, so I don't know how many people actually watched. I don't even know. Wait. Oh, wait, someone really liked that? Yes. Yes, Chris, I'm telling you. You know what I'm talking about. It was the Ross. She wanted a discount, and she got dragged. It was great. I don't know why I like that one so much, but that is like an epic one. And I saw that like weeks ago, and then Asmongold played it, and I thought that was really great. I forget who I was talking about besides. Oh yeah, so Megyn Kelly. Yeah, she got really weird. I was saying something else, but then your comments, you'll see this a lot. If you wanted to hear where I was going, let me know. Let me know where I was going with that. So yeah, Megyn, she got kind of weird. Oh yeah, that's what I was saying, because and And so we would do at SiriusXM, which was at 1221 Rockefeller Center. And so I lived like on 8th Avenue, and I would walk through like Times Square to get to work every day. I would walk by like School of Rock was off Broadway that time, well, on Broadway that time. So I'd be walking by this. I would walk by. I lived right above Wicked was the Theater Gershwin. And so I would have to walk by the crowds because it was a midnight show. I would have to walk by the crowds getting ready to go in for the night, for the show that night. So that was an interesting experience. But then we would go during the show. We would record. We would do something right before the show. She would go, Nomiki, the host. She would run over and jump on Megyn Kelly and be on Megyn Kelly. We would have to run some pre-recorded stuff as she's on Megyn Kelly. Then she would jump right over, and then we do our live show as well, because our show, again, it was like a midnight show. It was like 11 p.m. to midnight. Actually, I think it might have been like a 2-hour show. I can't even remember. It was just such a brief period. It was like a whirlwind time. So, I knew of Megyn Kelly prior, just from being, when she was on Fox, because that was like, we were right across the building. Like, so the tree, Rockefeller Center, 30 Rock, it's like a triangle kind of thing a little bit, like if you're thinking about it. So where Rockefeller, where I was in like the NBC building, like where the corporate stuff, the studios, Sirius building, you would just walk right across the street, and that was where the center was. You would see the Rockettes, the Music City Hall. So you would see that, but then like right over there, you on Christmas, there were the big balls, the ornaments that you see in the fountain, like those things, that's that area. We would go across there and go to Fox, and right in there's like a food court area underneath, kind of like in a valley, and there's like places to eat and stuff. So that's where like you see all the news people, Fox people, NBC people, like everyone from 30 Rock, from everywhere are all congregate there. And there was this one like place that all the political people and the news people would eat because it was so close, and it was a fancier place. I never went there. It was expensive but you would always see people there too. That was a funny aside. But anyway, so I've known Megyn Kelly for a while. I followed her for a while. Things have gotten weird, so I don't know what's going on. If that's like a YouTube algorithm weird thing, like people are playing the algorithm, kind of like a Candace Owen kind of thing. It seems like she's sort of playing the algorithm. I'm not sure. I knew of Candace Owen when she was less known, when she was first becoming a Christian and talking, and I never really loved her public speaking, but I did like her interviews and her, like, when she just did one-on-ones and stuff. I didn't like how she publicly spoke. I never related to her, the way she spoke. So now with her podcast, I just feel like she's moved into like a space. So I don't watch her. I stopped following her. But I might still follow her, but I don't watch her anymore. Same with Tucker. There was a moment in time, so I will watch those. But then Brandon Lehman, I really like him. If you like them, he does. Oh, okay. So Lael Hansen, that's more of a girl thing. Stephanie Lang, she's more of a girl thing. I'm trying to think of like stuff that I do that maybe you would relate to, as far as like the people that are in my subs. But those are the people that I'm always looking for. Sky News Australia, if you're looking at like news, Lefty's Losing It with Rita Rahamini. I'm sorry, I'm not even gonna say it now. I just I butchered the last name. But that's so much fun to watch Lefty lose. But I like Rita. I just think she's great. But all of Sky News Australia, I love them. So if you don't follow Sky, they follow, obviously world news, Australian news, UK, but they do a lot of American commentary, like news, talking about it, and they are really actually very funny. They're very, very funny. If you can stand being made fun of and all of that, it's fun, because I'm not just on one side or the other, but obviously I like, as the people I'm saying, I'm trying to think if I follow anyone, Jester Bell, Disparu, Nerdrotic, Critical Drinker, all of those, I definitely follow all of those. I'm trying to think. There's like a new one. There was a new, I don't know who that is though. Like, so there's this one channel, I'll have to look it up, I'll have to tell you, because I'm not even sure I'm not sure what this channel is. What is it? Ready to Glare. Okay, so she is actually really cool. And same with Swoop. I don't agree with a lot of their viewpoints, I guess, politically, but I agree with a lot of their viewpoints just about what they're, because they do a lot of just commentary about things happening. So those, I was trying to do some people, like, I don't only listen to conservative type people, but like Swoop. I really like her documentary. She does a really great job. And she has another channel called Swoop 2, and I really like her stuff. I actually, it's a new one, so I don't agree with everything she says, but I do actually really enjoy it. And she does very well produced. She has a very good style. When you talk about trends and stuff, I feel like she's created her own style and been able to succeed outside of trends. Even though she's doing, like, she's definitely doing a cool documentary, like, she's doing something, and I really like her style, as well as Ready to Glare, which is a little different. I can't tell, I'm not sure if she's conservative or not. She's really cool, though. Like, I like her point of view, and she says she's, like, cynical. I don't know. I find, like, I agree with a lot of what she says, so I don't know if maybe I'm more, like, I call it realistic, but I don't know. Because she has some realistic points of view about some things. She really calls some stuff out, but I really suggest her as well. But we're becoming the potato people floating along in Wally. Yes, we are. That's Adam Bailey, hi, 2523, hi. And then more people, Candace and Tucker. Yes, they went weird. I'm just like, I remember watching them when Tucker, not Candace when Tucker was, but like watching Tucker when he had the bow tie. That's when I knew who Tucker was. So when he started getting popular later, I kept thinking of, I don't think he's worn a bow tie in a very long time, but when in 2016, when I was really learning about everything that was happening, like, I knew Tucker Carlson as this bow tie guy, and so it's just really funny to think of where he's come from now. But we all do grow up. I hope that, which is why I try to hear the different points of view. I hope I don't go down that path, because I could have extreme views, and I do like to express my opinions, and then you get into these echo chambers where people agree with you. It's great if they agree with you, if it's agreeable for them, but it's also like, I feel like, how do these people get to these extremes? Some people might think Christianity is extreme, so how do you avoid getting to the two extremes? How do you go too far charismatic? I'm more charismatic Pentecostal, I guess, but I just follow the Bible, because a lot of that stuff is like witchcraft. Like, I'm like, that's not very biblical. So even in what I would say I'm more closely related to a Pentecostal, charismatic type of church, I'm definitely, don't agree with a lot of stuff they do. So again, that's kind of my thought process is how do you avoid going extreme? When you come into a community, you all are looking at the Bible, and now we have, like, how many denominations that most of them, like, Catholics often don't think anyone else is a Christian. A lot of other, non-Catholics, I don't even just want to say Protestants, just don't think Catholics are Christian. I mean, there is a divide, and it's like, that's why it's like, if we all can just look at the book, and I would say this in other, I don't know enough about a lot of other religions to say this about other. This is just one that I know well. But I just say this with other areas of interest, not just religious. It just seems like you could go extreme. Go into the manosphere, you can go extreme. I do anti-feminist stuff because I think feminism is dangerous. I actually believe what I'm saying, but I can go into the easily I hate women trap. And women piss me. I get so mad at women. I don't like saying piss off. I'm sorry. I apologize for that. That's like that's like inappropriate language. They make me very angry. However, I don't want to get into like all women suck and I hate them all, because most women, I feel like, might not be this crazy women that is being reflected, but the one that's being reflected, I really, really don't like, and I don't like being bullied. And you can see I'm a fairly strong-minded person, but I just sort of sit back and I let people say stuff because I'm strong-minded. But at some point, it's like, you're gonna stop treating me like crap. Like, I can like turn my head for a little while because I don't really care about you. I don't spend a lot of time thinking about you. Clearly, I take up a lot more real estate in your mind than you do mine. But at the same time, there is a point when it's like, respect matters, and if we keep letting this happen, if people like me who actually are able to talk back and can make at least reason out what I believe is true, whether you agree or not, I have reasons behind it and I can logically express them. If we're not standing up against these people, you're seeing people freak out and they don't have consequences. That's when they start thinking that it's appropriate to attack a police person and not have something bad happen, go to jail. Like, yeah, I don't care if the police is doing something wrong. Follow what they're doing and deal with it in court later, because you will have more issues. Like, it's just logic. Not because the policeman is right, but because he's a policeman. He has the law on his side, especially initially. And almost always, because it's not the policeman, it's going to be the government that you're suing. Very rarely does the actual policeman get in trouble, you know? So if you're looking in that view, it's like, if we don't stop them early with just how we treat one another with differing opinions, then you're going to have them hurting themselves and each other and the world, like doing stupid things like attacking a policeman and then being like, what'd I do? You spit on a policeman. Yeah, that's why you're being handcuffed, because you resisted arrest. The policeman might suck, but you are not doing a legal thing. You are doing something illegal, you know? So it's like those logics. Like, that's where I feel like this discourse is needed. We need to make it so people understand that there are consequences before they get to a place where they have to actually experience something bad that they should have known that could have happened. Not because it should happen, but because it can happen. And that's where we have to start protecting each other in this way. They say that, you know, you just be peaceful, that's love, but I just don't think it's love, because we're watching people get hurt. These people who think that they're doing something right, but they're not engaging with a legal system that doesn't agree with them in a way that's safe for them. And it's like, what do you do with that? You know, we have to figure out, like, there is a rigged system, and how do we do something in a rigged system if it's rigged, right? But how also do you do something peacefully, and how, like, I get that there's an issue with all of it. It's very complicated. So again, I'm not just dogging on people who don't like policemen. I like police. I like law enforcement. But at the same time, I'm not going to say that your opinions, you have no reasoning behind them. Hopefully you could express them to me if we had a discussion about them. I just think that when you get to the points, like we were talking about the cop cams, when you get to the point when you're confused as to why you're being dragged out of a Ross, because you, as a grown adult woman in your 30s likely, are you know, like, you're in a day dress that you probably bought at Ross, and you're sitting in a little cubby, and you're refusing to leave because you want a discount, and not just a discount, your boyfriend has the discount, and you want his discount, his employee discount, but if you can't get his discount without him being there, she wanted them to hold the clothes, and they refused to hold the clothes, so she refused to leave the cubby hole. And then she was shocked when she was arrested. This is what I'm talking about, okay? So you can get all extreme and get really offended, and you know, there are a lot of extreme situations. I'm talking about Ross Girl. Like, just, let's help these people before it gets to that. She's not right in the head. Someone could have prevented this long before, very long before, in my opinion. I don't know how I kept talking. It's surprising. Okay, so let's see. Oh, you know, I will not. So the other crowd of us, you know, I don't fully agree with that, but I also know that there's a lot of complicated issues surrounding that. I don't think that they are necessarily only addressing issues crazily that you're discussing. That is an issue, though. So yeah, a lot of people, it's controversy. It's a lot of people have differing views about it. I'm not, it's not something to talk about, like I'm interested in talking about, because that view, but I'm thinking more like I went into with Tucker, some of the spiritual stuff he's been saying is just, I don't agree. I think he's gone off the edge. You look at Cameron, what's his name? Kirk Cameron? He said some really weird stuff recently that I'm like, I'm not sure, because he was always pretty level-headed. I didn't agree with all of his beliefs, because he's Christian as well. I didn't agree with all of the Christian things he said was Christian, but he said some weird things lately. I'm not fully sure. So I guess that was where I was talking about with that. And Candace, I followed her because, again, she was a Christian influencer. I didn't follow her for politics. She just got more political. If you watch Candace early on, she didn't do political. So that was where I kind of brought them up. So, yeah. Anyway, many of the churches changed their values. And that's the thing. What you bring them in with is what you have to keep them in with, which I say it a lot because it's so true. And so they bring in these kids with entertainment, with worship music. It's basically these concerts. All churches do is concerts now to entertain people. So when it's like, okay, let's say the word, no one wants to listen. Because, like, aren't you supposed to play music? And then, like, in the church that I don't actually go every week to a church, but the church that I am a member of is in Dallas. And I watch online, not weekly like in a congregation, but I watch the videos of Curry online. And we don't do worship. At one point, he didn't do it at all. And now he does it kind of in the middle, because he does a 9 a.m. and then like an 11 a.m. And generally speaking, you're going to be at church. Like, you're going to be watching, if you're watching online or whatever, for like 3 to 4 hour stream if you're watching your whole church service. And the worship happens in the middle. But people would complain, and they said that it was like unbiblical because he wouldn't do worship music. And if you look at like the Bible, there's really no worship. Like, David he loved to sing, but there's no like place where like there's prophets, evangelists, teachers, there's not a worship leader in there. Apostles, I mean, yeah, so the fivefold ministry, none of those. And I think it's more fourfold. I think there's pastors who teach, not pastors and teachers. That's my personal opinion as I'm interpreting it, but that's just me. It's not like a make or break anything. But yeah, there's no worship leader in there. So yeah, I agree. Like, and we're trying to get people in, but it's like, you don't get people in with entertainment. It's not like, like this is not like a show, So I agree. And they're trying to be popular, so they change their points of view. And, you can't make your own opinions. You can't say like, oh, I think I agree with it. Like, that's just not what you can do as a minister, as a person who decides to be Christian. You can't make your own opinions about what the book says, as far as like it says something. You can try to interpret it, but it actually says something, whether your interpretation is right or wrong. Same with any spiritual, in my opinion, any religion. There is a truth of that religion. It's just whether you interpret it correctly, is up for grabs. And that's where the denominations come from. But yeah, so I don't know how we got into that. A lot of times I get into the church stuff. Many women Chris says, only go along with feminism because they want to be a part of the in crowd. It is true. Women are very hard on each other, and we are very much, I don't know, it's like social warfare people. I am wearing shorts, by the way, people. I'm getting a drink, because my throat is like, I'm wearing these, pajama shorts, so I'm not like, I didn't get fully dressed for y'all. Sorry about that. But I really need to get my drink. Okay, almost. Sorry. I'm still here. I don't even know if you can see me or hear me. Sorry. Okay. I'm really sorry, guys. I was so thirsty. Okay. I get allergies, so I sniffle a lot. I mean, I had sniffles, like, it's been raining so much in Texas. Oh my goodness, that's very cold. Wow. I can't turn that down, but that was, I think there's, like, ice in there. I wonder if Something's wrong with my fridge. Maybe it's going out. That is... I know, like, that seems counterintuitive. Like, why would it be extra cold if it's going out? But maybe just, like, something's wrong with the temperature sensor, I mean, you know? And then if it is too cold, too, it will burn itself out. That's where my brain was going with that. Just if you were wondering why being too cold would mean it's breaking. I feel like that's logical. Maybe it's not. I don't know. Okay, but yeah, women are rough on each other. We are mean. We are social, like, group people, and we want to get rid of each other. If you have friends groups as a woman, you will see it. They sabotage each other's relationships. I don't know exactly why, but I see it happening. They give advice that is so counterintuitive, advice that I don't believe. It's like they live vicariously through people, so they give the advice that they would give if they wanted to blow up their whole life and, you know, not have things work out. You know what I mean? It's like they just want to, and they just say, I'm not fully sure why, but, and they also just treat other women. I'm not sure this whole women thing, this women community, I find that just because I'm a woman, to expect that I have to support you and agree with everything you say, and if I don't, that I'm like against women, is a weird group thing that I see in other groups, but women do it too. I don't need a women's conference. I just don't. You know, like, unless I'm going to a conference about, like, gynecology, I don't need a women's conference. I don't need it. I have no use of, like, just communicating with only females for my benefit of life. Like, I have friends that are women that I can relate to on things that are women things. I have friends that are men that also I can relate to on things that I guess my brain has some things that are a little more logical reasoning, a little less emotional, a little more, like, harsh and structural, and I want to have that discussion, but I also can grow from the things that I'm missing with talking with both. Like, I don't see that there's not a use for a women's space, and for women's conferences. I just find that what they really are just ways to separate people and to separate men. I just feel like everything that used to be okay is now just a way to screw over men, or actual, like, just women, you know, like, whoever the group that they're pretending to support, whether you're in an LGBT community. I feel like everything now is actually trying to hurt the community it's pretending to support. Not the community itself, but, like, the events and things. I feel like these people are, like, I don't know if they're grifters or what, but, or, like, plants, or if this is, but it just feels like the movements, that's what they've all turned into. Is it just me? But it just feels like everything is turning into actually hurting. The women's movement is hurting women. The LGBTQ, I'm not doing all of it, movement is hurting now just gay and lesbian people. That was originally who, like, it was supposed to help. These are the things that I'm seeing, that it just feels like certain things that are happening are counterproductive, and it seems like, is it on purpose? Like, do these people know now? Or, and, like, who is it that is still doing it? Because I always say the elites, but there's, like, different groups of elites. There's elites for conservatives, there's elites for Christians, there's elites for whatever group you're in, for left, for right, for entertainment, and it's like, is there one elite? I believe, like, Klaus Schwab elite is, like, one elite group. I believe, like, the World Economic Forum is likely, if I was going to point to one elite conspiracy group that is actually causing the destruction of the world, who wants the one world order, who wants the one world religion, is the World Economic Forum. It's the people in charge of that, Klaus Schwab. And the UN, and because they're directly related to that. I believe those are the people that actually are trying to destroy the entire world. I also believe the one world religion is the absolute ridiculous idea. If you're any religion, no matter what it is, your belief system actually matters to you, and you can't just say, oh, but theirs is also true. That's not how it works. If you believe in one God, you're not gonna believe in, you know, a pan god system, like, if whether you believe in theosophy, you believe that you are the God, the God is within you, or I mean, like, that's not the same as like a Wiccan. Like, there are different religions that actually believe different things, and they actually believe it. They think it's the truth. I think my religion's the truth. We think what our religions are, we think our beliefs are true. So saying there's one word religion when some of these religions believe there are millions of gods, and some believe there's one, and that's it. And if you think there are multiple, and if you worship multiple than one, you don't go to heaven. Like, these are the things that you can't have a one-word religion. And when you start acting like that, that doesn't even make sense, and it's not even necessary. It's not necessary. And you can't force people, because that is also a big part of that. Like, saying it's a Christian nation, well, okay, we're established on some Christian values, but part of it, the values of Christianity, is that you have a choice, a freedom of religion, to choose right or wrong. You can choose whatever you want religion-wise. That's super important to Christianity. So saying everyone has to be a Christian is against what we say. Like, we don't want that. Choose. Make a choice, and, like, make it that because you want it. Right? Like, make your choice based on what you think is correct. I don't know. I go on all these tangents. I feel like all of this, I could chop this up into some videos, possibly. I've made some points here. Let's see. Coming down, Dr. M69, you ramble a lot. I really do. I do. I think that's just like, if someone were to describe my channel, or like, would I like your channel? I would say, do you just want noise, like a person just talking? Are you comfortable with a woman just talking, as like in the background, not letting you get in a word every once in a while? Maybe she'll look at the chat. Is that because if you say no, you're not gonna like this? But I am working on that. I am trying, but I don't know that will ever change. But it is, I agree, it's Ramble, and I appreciate that you are gonna stick around, and I also acknowledge that is absolutely a descriptor of my style. That is it. That's the only way I could describe myself, and that is accurate. Another thing to check out if you have not seen it, yes. So that is a new one that the algorithm has actually recommended me recently on other videos. So it's in my, I have it on my Watch Next. So I have a Watch Next list. So I do have some stuff. So I'll look into Nick Freitas. So that is who Chris is suggesting. Yeah, Dr. M69, yes. Exactly. Those people in Minneapolis would still be here if they had the understanding of the risks and legal responsibilities around dealing with law. It's true. And that's what's so sad, because a lot of people made it left, right. Like, I know that it's complicated, and I know a lot of people don't agree with what I think about it. But the law, they actually have legal action around them. And I understand there's people who don't agree with the legal action, and there's places where we have to go and figure out how that works, how to work it out. But when you're dealing with the law enforcement, there's consequences. And I absolutely agree that we need to teach people that the actual reality of, if you're in a public forum, if you're doing a peaceful protest or a riot, like you're not allowed to riot, but if you're doing a peaceful protest, they have to really be taught not just how to agitate to the nth degree, but how, if they want to be taught how to agitate, they have to be taught also what the laws are, because I feel like they're not being taught the actual true laws. And that, if you're being taught how to agitate, you should at least be told the truth of like, have you ever seen, these are other cop things, the cop cams I like to watch, Sovereign Citizens? That is the epitome of this. That is even better, yes. Who is telling them, if they had one legal book, who is telling them they can tell a policeman that they're traveling? Like, who said this? Where did it cut? Was it Google? Because it was around way long ago, so it's not Google, but I'm sure. And Google, I've asked Google what it is, because I had to ask what it was initially when I first learned about it, and it knew what it was, and it knew it was not legal. So I don't blame Google today on that one. But okay, let's see. I'd argue that even a gynecology conference has a space for men. That's true. I've heard of women who had difficulty with female gyne. That's also true. I only had male until like I used one that was in my neighborhood. But yeah, I mean, I didn't care either way. I wasn't uncomfortable either way. I know Uber, if you've noticed, Uber does Uber women's, and I understand the concept, but they're not doing Uber men, and then I'm like, okay, that's where I don't get it. I get you want a safe space for women. What about a safe space for men if you're going to like identify that? That's where I just don't understand the actual inequality. When you're trying to help people, why not help everyone? Give everyone that space. Give the woman, give the man. But, you know, then what layer do you have to, what spaces do you have to give people? So, you know, again, I do understand the space concept, but I agree, like even gynecological, it's a hard word that I brought up, but conference has space for men, of course, yeah. I would agree. Especially, you know, doctors and things. Like, not only doctors or gynecologists are women. And like you said, there are a lot of experiences with doctors, whether male or female, that are unpleasant. So, a lot of bedside manner is not just a gender thing. But I also agree that there tend to be women might have better bedside manner, what you would think is bedside manner. But for me, I don't want a doctor that's gentle. I don't want I mean, you know, like a gentle with the shots, but I want a doctor to come in. I don't want him crying like, I'm so sad about this diagnosis. This is so bad for you. You know, like I want them to be like, no big deal. We're going to hit this. This is not a great thing. These are the facts, but this has happened. These are the stats. This is like, I've done this before and this is what we're going to do. Like, I don't need him, you know, to cry with me. Like that would be the opposite of what I want my doctor to do. So, you know, I guess we all have our own preferences, but there's substance. Thank you. I really would like, though, I'm hoping, he says that there's substance, so he can respect that even in my ramble there's substance, so thank you for that. I'm really hoping that I will get a better attention span and a better speaking ability to stay on track. You guys have come in the beginning, and there's like this fly that I don't know if you can see it on screen, but it keeps flying. It's a little like gnat or something. I don't know where it came from, but it's stuck in. I have the door shut, so can't even get out. So if you watch me doing that, and it's extra distracting, so yeah, not all of it's high level intelligence stuff coming out. I don't need to change. I know I don't need to change. I'd like to get better. These are just things, FYI, guys, I'm improving. I'm trying to improve on because I really would, I would like to get less sidetracked to not lose my train of thought as much. That has been a problem my whole life. I just have a brain that goes boom, boom, boom. But what I did notice, and I just have to recommend this, I'm not recommending a type of thing, but weighted blankets, if you have a mind that is so like active and you had insomnia for the active mind reasons or for restless leg, your body did, because sometimes people with active minds also, they react to things like even sugar and things a different way, but sometimes they get the restless leg feelings, that really uncomfortable in their body feelings that are added to these thoughts, so that can also happen, but it's also helpful for restless leg syndrome. But weighted blankets, like I've recently discovered, and this is me as like 42-year-old just having discovered, because my mom got a new weighted blanket, so she gave me her old one. I had always thought about it, but it's not something I spend my money on, and they're expensive. So I mean, life-changing. I look forward to going to sleep. I look forward to the weighted blanket, and I'm sleeping really well. It is something where you have to put it a certain way, because it can actually affect, like, you can get a head, like a neck crick, because it is weighted, if you put it too high, and I like to have it, like, it's the best. Like, sometimes I just put it all the way over me. But if whatever it does with your sympathetic, parasympathetic nervous system, it really is amazing. So I just highly recommend that, by the way. Yeah. I mean, and I understand that concept, but if you go into the original reasoning, the root behind one world religion, I'm responding to other crowd investigators over here. If you go into some of the conspiratorial concepts of it, you would probably follow my logic a little more on where I'm going with that. I don't want to get fully into it, but I do recommend, if you like, okay, so his name is Billy Crone. He's a minister. He's a pastor. I'm not sure. I think he's like a Baptist. I don't know. I don't agree with a lot of things he says about, like, there's a lot of denominational things that I don't agree with. However, he does a series about, like, witchcraft, Satanism, theosophy, like, it's this whole witchcraft, spiritualism, like the dawn, and masonry, Freemasonry, so everything, like, kind of this historical, kind of how all this stuff comes about. Now, again, he's biased in what he's saying, but when you're watching, you can at least get some of the concepts, and he really goes deep into the development a lot of these New Age concepts. So it's like dawn of New Age and different things, and where they all come from, where they originated, the roots. And if you really follow the roots of some of these, he even goes into voodoo and things. It's so interesting. And a lot of it is also to see how that's been infiltrating the church. And a lot of times it's just about, like, sticking to the word. But again, I don't agree with everything that he says. He makes fun of charismatics a lot and Pentecostals. And again, like I've said, I guess I'm closest to that, although I don't agree with a lot of things I say. So, you know, but, so I don't want you to, like, watch it and think, like, oh, I just agree with everything he says. But it's always, like, with any documentary, you're supposed to know that it's not necessarily always everything they say is fact and true. You have to, but it's one viewpoint. And anyway, Billy Crone is his name, and he has just this whole series. It's every Wednesday. He did it for, like, years and years and years, and he developed, it's like each part has, like, 5 or 6 lessons in it, like, you know, just speaking, like, an hour-long Wednesday night teaching. They're really cool. I watch that for fun. It's super interesting. Okay. See, the Sovereign Citizens are wild to watch. They're so much fun. I thought about at some point, I don't know, I have a problem with, like, there's so many people watching other people's content, but I would love to watch, like, and react with things with people, because there are sometimes where I'm like, and my jaw is actually open, I'm like, what? And I, like, I respond to what I'm watching in these cop things, so I always thought, like, maybe I can do a live stream and actually watch one. But I know so many people already do that, so I don't need to, like, add to the noise. There's enough people who are doing that already well. But at the same time, like, I would like to do it to react with people, you know, like, so, like, a watch party. But, so, all these thoughts with things. Generally, YouTube, if you're wondering, is my social space, as far as my online social space. So when I want to socialize online, I'm trying to create YouTube that space. So when I say maybe YouTube's not the space for me, it's because people who are subscribing aren't getting my notifications, they're not seeing my videos, and therefore I'm not able to have conversations with people. Obviously I get busy, I can't always get in my comments, but I am trying to keep up with the comments as much as I can. The system's not great to do that, but that's why, you know, if I do talk about leaving YouTube, it's more just like, where is a space that I feel like I can connect to a group of people in a community a better way, but also have the market space, which that's where, like, Patreon doesn't, you'd really have to have a space, and it's usually like you can send people to Patreon versus actually already having a market space for it. You know, it's the same why LearnDash on your own WordPress versus Udemy. You'd probably want to start at Udemy because they have a built-in market space. It's the same reason why, okay, I could use Shopify, but I might use Etsy and pay all the fees, or Amazon and pay all the fees, specifically because of the market space. So that's kind of why YouTube, it's like to build and start connecting with people, but unfortunately I'm connecting in a time of, like, where the algorithm is so bad at connecting with intent that it's like I can't find anyone, and it's like a very specific time in the algorithm, so I don't expect it to last forever, but it's been like months, like since January, that I just, like, I can't connect with you guys. You're not seeing what I'm doing, and you may not like all my videos, that's not the point. It's just like, even the comments that I'm getting, like, I'm not seeing them, and then you're not seeing, like, I had one person I am Samuth or whatever. I forget exactly what his name is, but he said that he was like, "Welcome back, glad to see you're back on." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" I'm posting like every week. There was a time where I did get sick, and I didn't post for like 2 weeks, and then I posted, and then I didn't post again for like 2 weeks. But besides, like, there was like a small frame, but for the last 6 months, when I'm not getting any views comparatively, like, if you look, I'm not getting impressions, like, YouTube's just not showing me to anyone, in those, because of the algorithm, and you'll see every creator's talking about it, you know, they matter because that's their livelihood. I just wanted to create a community, and it was working, and then they all left because no one could see my stuff anymore. But it was just the fact that he was even like, "Welcome back, glad to see you're posting again," and I'm like, I've been here, but glad you're back. So I don't expect you guys to have to keep up every time. You know, I expect the algorithm to fix itself, and when someone subscribes, maybe they actually show it on someone's homepage. Perhaps you actually see the people that you showed intent of coming back to view. But, you know, that is the algorithm. I expect it at some point to adjust and be a little better at knowing intent and caring. Because right now, it just doesn't care about your intent. It's just about what's popular, which we all know, but yeah. Okay, let's see. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I agree. That is the one world religion. I would agree. I Other crowd investigators. He's making some good points. So everyone, you can read his. I'm trying to log off, but I do say he's making a good point about the group of the one world religion and reasoning surrounding it, which I also would agree that that is a good point. And there's a lot more, like like you're making a great point, like what people are talking about. There are different things depending on like what WEF is talking about versus what this is talking about. So you are absolutely correct. Right now, I feel like they're all kind of a new world order, I guess, is the way that I'm more talking about it. In a way, like that you were like discussing, like WEF versus like the religious reasoning behind it. There's multiple things going on. So yeah, that's actually a very intelligent conversation that I would probably have to look into even more to differentiate the terminology better, so that I could have that discussion more accurately, so that we would all be discussing the same thing and I would know what I'm talking about. So, but I suggest looking at what he's saying, because it sounds like he has some interesting points here that he might know more about it than myself. Yeah, and I also agree with what he's saying. I mean, those are all valid points. So come across as neurodivergent, not a bad thing. You know, a lot of people have told me that I'd be on the spectrum, but at the same time, I think that most people are on the spectrum. I feel like the spectrum is not like it's just like personality, how we process. And if someone isn't average, which most people aren't, then you're on like a spectrum, but like technically you're still on this, you know, you're just like not, like, I don't know. I just feel like everyone has levels of autistic or neurodivergence in them. So I kind of feel like we're over diagnosing just normal differences. Like what we had assumed or been told for so long that this is normal how to process, maybe it's not. And I find that especially with how we socialize, I'm not antisocial in the sense that I can't socialize. I just don't prefer it. I went to my nephew's birthday party, and there was like 20 people there. I knew like my family. It was my little sister's party, and my nephew is 2. And it was a lot of family, but like my sisters and my stepmom, my mother, and then my stepmom's husband, and then, you know, other people I didn't really know. His family came, like my sister's husband's family, a few of them came, but like I was very sociable, and my sisters, I don't know, they always make fun of me. They're like, it's like they always get surprised that I'm actually decent at socializing. Like I was like life of the party, which I am often the life of the party if I try to be, if I want to be, if I'm there, you know. But like I'm there for like an hour or so, and then I'm ready to go. I've done social hour for my month. I've been charming and talkative, and I've been talking about all these subjects and friendly, and now I just want to go and like do my editing or watch my Copcam video in the background while I research more and learn more about AI or study that. I do a lot of studying, a lot of researching, a lot of testing using equipment and technology stuff. So, yeah, it's interesting to try to understand your own brain. I do think most people are on the spectrum of some level. When I watch Love on the Spectrum, I relate sometimes. Like, when I watch that show, I'm like, yeah, oh. I'm like, oh, well, I didn't know that was a spectrum thing. But I mean, the good thing about everyone overdiagnosing themselves is that even my family has acknowledged that they thought maybe I'd be on the spectrum. I don't know. I'm not. I've been diagnosed with things in high school. I was diagnosed as manic depressive in high school. So that was something that they tried to give me. Gosh, what was it called? I didn't take it. Zoloft for. Yeah, I just learned how to regulate emotions and that I had them, and I have a tendency to have more chemical variance, and I just have to fight it more. Like, it's uncomfortable when you're in that depressive mode, and the depression isn't that you're sad, you just don't feel as motivated to move forward and do things, and it's like painful to get yourself to move forward and do stuff. And I have that. And then I have the manic mode, which you can see most of the time I seem like I'm in manic mode. That's my baseline. And it's actually not me manic. This is not me manic. You will know when I'm manic. I'm manic when I'm work. I come on and I'm like, you will know it is this, but like 11. It goes to 11. Like, it is. Yeah. So, but and I decided I didn't like medicine to do that, to regulate, and I wanted my body to learn how to do it, and also my ability I have temperance, I have self-discipline, and I need to work a little harder to figure it out. The chemical disruption or whatever that I had was not extreme enough in a way that I could not behaviorally adjust chemical reactions in my body. Notice that if you smile, you'll release chemical reactions. You can actually change the way that your body processes and the type of chemicals your body is releasing naturally, and you can train your body like a Pavlov's dog to have those reactions. And so that's what I worked on my whole life, to retrain my body, those chemical reactions, so they're a little more calm, so they're a little less fluctuating. And so you can do things like they say, like, if you fake laugh, it will turn into a real laugh. But if you do that for like 30 seconds to a minute, you will actually have done chemically change some chemical reactions in your brain. And you consistently do things like that. It's called behavioral therapy, different exposure therapy, different types of therapy and things. So they have it in psychology. It's not like I made this kind of concept up. But when you slowly expose to that, then you actually can adjust how your chemicals are responding. And a lot of times with behavioral therapy, they might work with medications for more extreme versions and see if they can change the chemical reactions while maintaining or adjusting them. So there are different ways depending on what your issues are. So I just was on a low level, and my main issues were whether I was extremely motivated, very like, I need to just boom, 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 we gotta get this done, gotta get this, gotta do this, and my brain's just like, go, it won't, like, the insomnia type concepts, but, and then where it's physically painful to have to do stuff, but I learned how to do stuff through, it's hard to express how something's physically painful when you're not actually like in pain. Like, it's hard to express that resistance in your body. That's the depression that I experienced. But, and you learn how to deal with it and do stuff, because you know that once you push through it, sometimes it'll take an hour, sometimes it'll take a day, sometimes it'll take a week, sometimes 2 weeks. But once you get through it, it's done, and you're out of that thing. But you have to push through it, or else you're just going to spiral down. Same with manic. If you get too far and you don't stop enough, I can get my brain go, where it's just like, I I've never actually gone into like too manic, but where I get to a point where I just can't sleep at all, and it's basically like I'm up for like days. It feels like I'm strained feeling. Like I just cannot stop and think. So I tend to not let myself get that, but that's stuff you learn over time. And now I've had like more of a baseline because I've trained my body to produce this certain amounts of chemicals at certain times and to react. Like if I'm going to move forward, well then that chemical's got to go. Whatever's stopping me from moving, whatever's making my body not want to move, whatever is mentally happening has to leave. Whatever the dopamine, the serotonin reuptake, whatever is happening in there needs to move along because I got stuff to do. And that's kind of how I live my life. Anyway, when are you putting the Christmas tree back up? I should put it back up soon. I love the Christmas tree. I always actually put it up. I try to put it up in October. I try to have it up by Halloween. That is always the day that I like because I don't celebrate Halloween. I love Halloween, like the time of year. And I love the cons, like the fall decorations and the black cat decorations, all that stuff. I don't like the gross stuff. But I always like that concept, but I don't celebrate Halloween. But I do like fall. And so I do like to enjoy kind of the fall vibes and the orange and the blacks and the browns and that sort of vibe and those decorations and those things. I don't like the Halloween stuff so much. But anyway, so instead of that, because I used to do more of that stuff, but in Venezuela in high school, we didn't celebrate Halloween. They did Carnival, but the little kids and like we had a school where I did grade pre-K through 12 were all in the same building, all in the same school. It was Escuela Campo Alegre. It was a private school there. It was an international baccalaureate European British private school. And so we had like this building where like all the people were on the grade, the same building, but like different floors. Oh, can you not hear me? Hold on. It's telling me. Uh-oh. Can you hear me? It's telling me I have 0 audio. No. Okay. Oh, you hear? Okay. Oh, good. Okay. Well, YouTube liar. That was a squirrel. What was I talking about? I was talking about pre through K, but why did I bring it up? Help me out, guys. Why did I bring up my schooling in Venezuela? Escuela Campo Alegre, and the school, and the pre-K, and they were all in the same school. Why did I even bring this up? I have no clue. Oh, fall decoration. Yes, thank you. Oh my gosh, you guys are so helpful. I need you in my life all the time. So yeah, we would, at school, the pre-K, we would do Halloween for them. Like they would come and it was during Carnival week. So Carnival is a thing in the Mediterranean. It's a Caribbean, not Mediterranean. I don't know what they do in Mediterranean. It's a Caribbean thing. Wait, it's not the same place. I know that. It's a Caribbean thing, but they do it, and they did it in Venezuela. Because they didn't celebrate Halloween, and it's kind of like a Mardi Gras, but it like lasts for a week. And the main thing that we had in Venezuela, there would be like kids would throw eggs at cars and buses and things. That was like the main thing that happened when I was in my area for Carnival. They didn't have and if you went to Altamira, if you went to the big space, you could see like actual like Carnival and like the parades and stuff and the celebrations, festivals. But anyway, so we used to celebrate with them, but it was not okay for you to do that as like an adult. That was like Carnival was, but not like in school, and that wasn't like even as like in middle, like you didn't do it, you didn't dress up. It was for the elementary students. Like that was it. Like that was, and it was just culturally, it wasn't like, oh, Halloween's bad. It was just like you didn't, like that was for children. And so I think I was raised in a different kind of concept, because when I came to the US, as adults you celebrate and you dress up, and I was shocked, and I've never gotten into that. Then I became a Christian, and they say you shouldn't celebrate Halloween. My family, like my sisters, do with their nephews and stuff. I never talk about it. But anyway, so the whole point of that was that I put my Christmas tree up on Halloween. I'd like to have it up by Halloween, and if I don't, then sometimes Halloween I use as kind of like a day to take time and do it. So that will be my goal, is to get my tree up by October 31st. But where I'm at right now, you won't be able to see my tree because my tree would be over there, and this is clearly a wall, and this is a wall. That's a couch, and then that's where my desk was over there. It's like the opposite, and the tree and my window are over there. So I don't think you'll be able to see the tree, but I have a lot of decorations. I could put stuff back here. I have to, it's actually funny. This isn't even attached because my cat likes to sit back here. So I have to move everything once the recording's done. The things we do for our pets. Things we do. But yeah, that's when my tree's coming. But yeah. It is a squirrel. And so yes, now if I ever say squirrel, you will know what that is, because that's what these are. Oh well, so guys, I made it to 2:37. I came here 16 minutes after 12. So I think it was like 12:16, 12:20. So this has been a long time. Oh, I could have just looked right here. It says 2 hours and 21. I was like trying to do, I'm really bad at math. Like in my head math, I have to write it down. But yeah, it says it right here. I've been live for 2 hours and 27 minutes and 19. So it was right there the whole time, and I did not know. So here we go. Knock down the wall, you can pull a tree. I could. I've been thinking about that. I really wish that they like did a window or something here though. I do put my tree in front of the window though, because I like the idea of people coming by and being able to see it at night or like during the Christmas holiday. But then like I have to have my blinds open all the time, and it's weird. And this is where I will relax. This is like the space I relax in. This is my office, and I don't go in my living room area. I have my bedroom and the office, and my mother lives over there. So we are all here. I don't know how long though. Actually, you know what? By Christmas this might be different because I've been looking for a new place. I moved here. Like I said earlier in the stream, I moved back. It was very last minute from New York. My little sister got pregnant, and I wasn't gonna move. I was gonna stay in New York, and it was Memorial Day, actually right around this time of year, and I literally May 1st never wanted to come back to Texas ever. Like, no interest. Already knew my sister was pregnant, knew that I would have to travel and all that stuff more, but I had no interest in ever returning to Texas. I did not like Austin very much. I left because I did not like the weather, did not like the infrastructures, I didn't like driving here, and so when I left and we moved to Nashville as a morning show, I really enjoyed Nashville, but I didn't really love Nashville. I wanted a big city because I grew up in Caracas, Venezuela. I like the big city, and so I moved to New York, and I really love New York. I wanted to stay in New York. I love the city. I love the noise. I moved to the country. It was too quiet. Like, I had to put noise on in the background. Like, I just grew, that was the environment I grew up in. I'm comfortable in a big city with ambulances and just noise everywhere. And so, yeah, I did end up deciding randomly by Memorial Day, May 28th or whatever of 2023, just randomly, that, okay, I guess I'm moving back. I don't know, it all just happened. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to move back by July. And so by July, I was back here, and suddenly I'm like living in my mom's house. She had an extra room, 2 rooms, like on the other side. She has the 3 bedrooms, so I have a little bathroom and a room, and it's, it's been useful, but it was so unexpected. And so this was just where I landed. I gave away all of my stuff, and this couch I got from my sister. So I literally just moved back with only my clothes and my cat and a cat tower. Obviously I needed his furniture. And I've been living here, and it was all supposed to be temporary. So I've been really trying to make moves and figure out where I actually want to move. Thing was, I didn't ever think I was going to stay in Austin. I always thought I was going to move to Dallas because it has better weather, as far as it has a little more seasons. And I really wanted to do that, but I didn't, I haven't done it. But now with my sisters, and one of my sisters just got pregnant, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. So I may, by the time, the whole point of this, I may actually have a Christmas tree by the time this happens, I may have a whole different setup in a different house, finally. I had been away from my family for over a decade, so it's been a big transition to move in. But if you wonder why my nephews are always here, you know why I say I babysit every day, it's because my mom babysits my sister's kids, and so they're literally every day I'm helping babysit, not because that's my job, that's just they're always here. Well, one of them moved away, but one of them is always here now, and they're gonna have more, so and you know, so that's always fun. I'm actually gonna miss that, and that's one of the reasons why I think I've stayed long, because I get to see them every single day, and I get to help them study and learn, like they're learning how to read, and I actually like that, because again, I lived away for over a decade, never seen my family for over a decade, so this is a big transition, but I kind of like it, so I'm just not sure where I'm gonna end up. That was a weird side. Let's see. Yeah, right? I mean, my tree is, let's just talk. I like my tree a whole lot. I got it for like a huge discount. It was like a $400 tree, but I got it for like less, like $100-something bucks. It was at Wayfair. It was one of those deals, you know, right before. It was like maybe a Black Friday early deal. I don't remember, but I'm one of those people who likes to reuse stuff over and over. I actually have a video. Actually, it might be private now. No, it's a video where it's me without makeup. You can go look at it. It's one of my first videos. And it's just like, get ready with me, and I'm getting ready to work out, and I'm not wearing any makeup, and I'm talking about putting up my tree, and I show you like all the decorations up there that I'm pointing to, that I just take out every year. I already have pre-wrapped boxes, so if you look at any of the pictures, you can watch that videos. I actually have like all the pre-wrapped presents already there, packaged, and I just throw them under the tree. Then my cat can't climb up. There's functional purpose. My cat can't climb up the tree because I cover it all around with pretty looking presents, but I really like it all. It's all the same, and it's a perfect size, and I don't know. So for me, and it's perfect size that it's a 4-part tree, and it's big. It's small enough. It's big enough that it's substantial and it looks nice, but it's small enough that I can lift it up as a single woman on my own to a shelf, like a high shelf. I mean, it's hard. It's difficult to do that, but it is still in that where I don't have to like hire a handyman or someone to help me move it, which is important to think about. I guess men don't have to think about that as much, but as a woman, that is something I have to. I'm 5'3". I'd like to say 5'4", but that's kind of a lie. I think my driver's license might say 5'4". I lied. They didn't ask. They didn't check. I said 5'4", but yeah, I think I'm 5'3", and maybe a little. So yeah, I'm 5'3", small. 102-ish pounds, 102 to 105 pounds. So clearly, I'm just not super strong. So I got to think about these things. Surprisingly, though, with physics and stuff, to leverage and using like the magic movers and things, you can get a lot done. Just knowing how to leverage big objects and physics is very helpful. Okay, let's see as we're wrapping up. Oh, yeah, where'd you move, doctor? Little things. Yeah, it is the little things. I guess, wait, you can tell me. You can say where you moved. But yeah, that can be another topic. We can all chat. I'll do a post or something if you guys want to see the tree. Maybe I'll find a picture of my tree and we can discuss it. I don't know how much. Oh, well. But I am going to go. I'm going to wrap up. I forgot that I have a work meeting that I have to do. And I told them at around 1 I would ping them. It's 2:45, so I'm going to actually go. I have worked. Yes, I do work on weekends. And this is another thing that's fun about freelancing. You don't have boundaries. So if you're a person who just likes to be busy and likes to think and likes to work, don't do freelance and don't work from home, because you will always be working. It's just like you can't stop it. You can't stop yourself. Well. Oh, California. Well, that's like a big change. I wonder where. I'm interested. We're going to have to, go into that and get to know where in California, what you're doing there, why you went from New York to California, of all the, like, why would you leave New York and then go to a place that I think is more expensive, but obviously it could have been work or something, I don't know. But you might not have left New York because of the expenses, I don't know. Maybe you're that wasn't the issue. Like, maybe it was like a work issue or family, like I did. Like, I am in Austin. I've been trying to convince my family to move. I like Austin fine. The weather, I can't do it. It's so hot. I'm not good at the heat. And it's not that I'm great at cold, but it's like there's no refuge. There's no reprise. There's no peace from the heat here. And this isn't even the hottest place there is. I don't know. The comfort that we really cage ourselves in. I mean, it's actually probably for the best. I just need to like get myself more used to being uncomfortable, like temperature wise, right? I don't know. I don't know why I need to move. I could just get used to the heat and then be around my family. I don't know. Humans are funny. We really are. Well, yeah, I do. I want to talk about that. I do have this meeting to do, but we're going to have to do this. Humid or dry heat. Actually, surprisingly, it's been raining a lot, and it's been really humid lately. It's really muggy. Actually, I'm going to say it's probably mostly humid, muggy. But it's the type of heat that you walk outside, and immediately you feel like you've walked in water. Like, that's how much you might be sweating and dripping. Like, no matter who you are, no matter if you're a person that never, like, you walk outside, you feel like you've been swimming. That's the feeling you get. So I would say muggy, but it's not muggy like Houston muggy. So that's why I feel weird saying that, because I've experienced Houston. And so I don't want to be like, so muggy here, when we're not even next to a coast. You know, there is a lake here, but you know, it's different. But it's definitely not dry in San Antonio, and the rivers over there. San Antonio gets really uncomfortably muggy. But there's also, I don't know, I'm not sure. We've been in a perpetual drought. It's been raining so much here, and now they've just amended our stage 2 drought. So it's no longer stage 3, which is good, which, you know, now it's stage 2, and we can only water our yards on like Monday after 7 p.m. On this side of the street. I mean, they have rules, but now they've recently amended it. But because it's been raining so much, but they didn't even make it stage 1. It's just an amended stage 2. So I guess according to others, it's dry, but it's hard to say because you're sweating so much. It feels muggy. I don't know. So anyway, so that's Mr. International 1. You're new. I haven't said your name yet. I like to say everyone's name at least once who's commenting. So hopefully I didn't miss any comments, miss anyone, but I really have had fun. I am going to try to do like the 2-hour maybe span, just to give people more time to see notifications. And Sunday is not the day. I usually work on Sundays, so Saturday's going to be like a better day for me. But if no one's available on Saturdays or Sundays, then I can also work probably around that somehow, because this is, yes, you say do what I want to do, but also what I want to do is like engage with people and have communication and talk and again have my online social hours. So it does matter if it's more, I could just be recording by myself if I just was not going to want to hear other people's comments, like other crowd investigators when we started getting into the One World. I mean, that's like a whole different live stream that I probably will do at some point, and hopefully you're there. I'll ping you about it, because that's a whole different topic I really do want to talk about. Same with the California topic, and just any of that. There's so many things I love to talk about. I wish that I had people, like family and people around me, that I could talk to more about this stuff. The guy I'm seeing, he's very intelligent and thinks similar to me, but what he's actually fun at is he's inquisitive, and he's not very talkative, so you can see why we get along. So he asks very good questions, interesting questions, and he pays attention. He's very interested in what I have to say, and he'll just ask questions, and then I like talk, and I'll try to ask him questions, and he'll say like one sentence and then like turn it back. So I really try to get, and he'll sometimes get into stuff, certain things. He's funny, but I think maybe that's why we get along. Also, he's like, I assume we're we're both kind of like workaholics and just like to do our own thing most of the time. And some people, it's the difference between like dog and cat people. And, I'm not a dog person. I love dogs. I love animals. But cats, they're just more standoffish, which fits my personality more. They need less. They need less attention. They want less love, but sometimes they do want to cuddle. My cat's very cuddly. And I like to cuddle him. But he really doesn't need like constant attention. If I get up, he doesn't really care unless he was sitting on my lap. And then I probably wouldn't have gotten up anyways. But like my mom has a dog and I love him, but he's different. Dogs are different. And we had a dog growing up and a cat. Like I had a Alaskan Malamute, and then we had a toy poodle at one point. So, of course I love animals. But if you're talking about who I would relate to more, or who I think is more like, I'm more of the cat type. And I think that in all areas of life, even how I socialize, I'm a cat person. And I think maybe if you say cat or dog, I don't know that all cat people are like that, but for me, I feel like that's how I even relate to people. It's like, like I said with the birthday party, I went for an hour, I was on it, I was on my game was on, I was doing well, but I was done. And I was like, it was a 3-hour party. And I was done after an hour. I continued and I stayed because my goal is to not be the first one to leave. And so I stayed until my ride left. I didn't even tell them I was ready to go at any point. I'm sure they knew. I'm sure they assumed I didn't even want to go because that's how I roll. But at the same time, I'm good like going and for like a really short time and then leaving, and I would have gotten all my social needs. So that's kind of what I'm saying. Anyway. Okay, yeah, next time you end up in a stream, we can discuss, yes, and a dog is like a child. I mean, it really is. I don't understand the dog thing. Except my mom's dog's funny because he will stand, his name's Danny. He will stand on the pad. He has pee pads and stuff. And he'll stand on the pad. He's on the pad, but I guess he's like on the edge, so he never actually pees on the pad. But you watch him, and he's standing on the pad, so you can't be mad at him. But it's constant cleanup. It's really annoying. It's over in the laundry room. I don't ever go over there. That's her stuff. It's funny. She knows I'm to myself, so she gives me my space. And the only problem is I can't ever go to the kitchen without seeing a toddler. And with toddlers, you can't just be like, gotta work, I'm busy, gotta do this. So you end up having to know that if you're going to go to the kitchen, you've got to have something to distract the toddler with, and also have enough time to engage so you cannot make the toddler feel not wanted, right? Because they don't understand that you're just grabbing something to eat or something. So, gosh, I really have to go. I really have to go. I'm leaving. Oh, well. A dog. Okay, yeah. So, yes, I'm an introvert. Yeah, because of I see it as like how I recharge. Where my battery is lost with people, my battery is lost. After this, I will need my alone time. But I enjoy it. It's just I get drained, and then I just need my time to myself, time to think, time to do my work. A lot of times it's a selfish thing too, because I just like wanna like go do my thing, and I'm not that interested in what you're talking about. I mean, it is selfish. We are so self-indulgent. Our culture and our times, and so I can even see that in myself. And is that good or bad? I am gonna leave. Adam, thank you, Adam Bailey 2523. I'm gonna leave. But we could still talk. So maybe I'll do longer ones at different points. But this is why I really am enjoying you guys, and now you're actually chatting, and I feel like, again, the first hour is just me like warming up. By the time I actually have to log off, I feel like we're having real conversations. You've told me different topics. Now I have 5 different topics to talk about the next time. I really do want to get into neurodivergence, and I also want to get into introversion and antisocial type of behaviors and the differences, because I find that really interesting. And also narcissism. Not actual narcissism as like an issue, but narcissistic behaviors that we all do. Because I find that fascinating. And I find like acknowledging them helps us adjust them, or even decide like, I guess that's just something I do right now. Like maybe I'll work on that later, which I do that a lot as well. Okay. Selfish collectively, but we all have needs. It is true. It is true. Okay, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. And I'm gonna press end, And I'm gonna awkwardly stand here and smile while it ends. So I'll see you guys later.